Yeah. Here we go again.
That's right.
And repeat. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Another Saturday.
Another Saturday.
Special guest.
Special guest day. But before we get into that, this is No Disrespect the Podcast. Meaning we mean no disrespect to anybody. Friend, foe, family, anybody. We just here to state our views and opinions. If you like them, love them, hate them, disagree, you're entitled to that. We just stay in ours. You stick with yours. And with that being said, I'm Pookie the Dream. And I'm always with
Miss Sunny Days.
And I'm Cool Ass Trav. And this is No Disrespect the Podcast. And today we got, I would say he's a mentor to my radio station.
Mentor to you?
Yeah, that too.
I would say he the next, who owns something big?
Oprah.
Nah, Oprah's a woman, man.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, he's next. He's the first
He's a LeBron James of radio.
Kevin
guys.
Pryor.
Somebody had told her right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's the first Kevin Pryor from the Bronx. I call him 950 Kev from 950 Lounge.
Okay.
The LeBron James of the radio game.
Okay.
He says it better than me. He has a great radio voice, but he says it better than me.
Well, then state your name.
So, with that being said, like you said, Kev, say it.
Well, again, thank you guys. My name is Kevin KP Pryor, aka LeBron James of the radio game, 950 Lounge radio. And I'm here at No Disrespect Podcast, and I can't find a better way to spend my Saturday evening than with you people. I appreciate the time.
Thank
He
you.
does have
for
a nice
coming.
radio.
You do.
Oh, thank you.
You can do like late night too. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. You about to play this.
I was mentored by Vaughn Harper.
All right.
But
You
that's
about to play an
another
oldie but good.
I'm going to take my voice down an octave.
Yeah, man. I'm about to feel like
So,
come
yeah,
from my spot, Kev. Nah,
He's
So
here with us today.
Yep.
You
Yeah, we
know,
have to have you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
You
no
was
doubt.
on time too. You know,
Oh, no question.
you know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, we had a good discussion before we hit record, so we definitely gonna get into that. But before we get into that, how was y'all week? You know how we do.
Whew. I was on that damn rough.
On the
The
roof.
rough.
On the rough. It was rough on the rough. I'm 10 shades of black.
I'm jealous.
I get patent frisked all the time now, even more now.
The hell with the beach, right?
The hell with the beach. Shoo.
Wow.
It's hot. It's cooking my skin. Look good.
I went to Coney Island this week, and this is what I
Sonny,
came back with.
please stop saying you went anywhere.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You
I'm
went to Coney Island
jealous.
for work, or you went to Coney Island to have fun?
No, fun. Not for
Cause
work.
cause you travel.
Yeah, I
You
travel.
saw if you went to Brooklyn, then
No.
that might be, you know.
No, I went to Coney Island trying to take.
How you don't tan?
Because the sun wasn't with me that day.
You know what it is?
You went to
That
that.
slave master.
You know
your
what?
ancestors got in
You know
there.
Yeah, that
Let's
jeans
not
strong.
bring them. Let's not bring them. Let's not bring
Jeans
them up.
strong.
You know.
I need more time on the beach. That's all it means.
Oh man, come on that roof. We got you.
I would do that type of.
Bring some tools. We alright.
So,
What about you, like?
another good week on the radio. Who I had on the radio this week? Jazzy
Jazzy
Joyce came on this week.
That's big.
She's good. And she's mad cool. She
I mean,
is
I would
so
hope so.
down to earth. Like
I would
she from the
expect
hood.
her.
And,
I could tell though.
and she put us on in a lot of games, a lot of gyms. So she gave me a shirt. She told me any help with the podcast, anything, put her on. So I'm definitely gonna keep in contact with her. Get her up here one day. Cool Herc. I'm gonna look into that too. She said she got his number, so I'm like, all right, we can see what that's about. So.
Networking.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. At the end
We
of
had
the
a
day.
better week than Usher.
Oh. Nah, he might not have had an outbreak. He got, I think like 4 days or something.
That's
like,
how
like
it
a period.
That's how it worked.
His
I told
his
Tyson
bank
did.
account had an outbreak. It was about to be. Hope he got a good financial partner. Sure, that's gonna be something.
How do you think that works? If you have sex consensually and you catch something, well, he's supposed to tell you. That's gonna
Yeah,
ruin
if
the
he
mood.
knew, if he
That's
knew
gonna-
that he
that's gonna-
had it. You mean this is gonna ruin the mood? I would hope that you would tell me first. What do you mean?
Destroy the movie.
Right.
But I'm Usher, baby.
No.
Usher.
He's also burning, baby. You can't.
I
do
wrote a
that.
song
You know-
about it a long time ago. Y'all didn't. I ain't listen.
You know what I hope? I hope nobody ran a train or had an orgy with us.
Oh, you know, it was a few of those.
Right.
Because there's more than one person running around.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that Dave Chappelle skit that he had. Herbie just pop out of nowhere.
Cause you ain't got the call.
That's horrible. It's
My
horrible.
confessions. I mean, look. I mean, obviously, these guys, man, they all. I mean, look. Remember Easy E?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy and straight out of Compton, the guys were doing
Yeah,
all
he
that.
was getting
Magic.
Yeah.
And he was magic.
Oh my god.
Nickname Buck, because he always was butt naked.
Cool.
Magic Johnson.
Magic.
I never knew that.
Buck magic.
Buck nasty.
He always got his magic wand now.
They said he had that side room at the forum. He point up to the end of the game, point to somebody, runners go get the girl.
What?
Yeah, Magic had it.
Oh, you
set.
actually
I need to get that type of
Yo.
magic. I need that type of
That
magic.
nigga David
Or
Copperfield.
there's somebody like that one.
Hocus.
Yeah.
You gotta have money to do
Now
that.
he president
Sit
of
there and be
Lakers.
like, yo,
We on our way, man. We
I
on our
got
way.
12 minutes in
I
this
can't do
game.
that. I can't do that.
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
I
not.
can't do all that.
Let me
Because
tell you.
If Usher got it,
I'm gonna be honest with you. We blow up when we do. I'm sticking with the person that stuck with me
Right.
yeah.
through this grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna tell her, yo, go to the house for the weekend. We gonna go to. That's it.
Wait.
You good man, Trev.
Wait.
No, I'm serious though. I'm serious though. I can't. I see it all the time. Like I almost had an argument about it, where dudes, a lot of times dudes get a certain amount of clout, get some money. Next thing you know, they try
Your
to
ass for a white girl.
that
Nah.
and Instagram model. You know, somebody.
terrible.
You know, so I'm like,
The
nah.
Rob Kardashian.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
sticking out with the one that stuck with me. I'm good with mine,
too.
so I'm
I'm
chill.
good. I'm
Right, I'm
with
gonna stay
mine.
married to my husband. I'm talking about the
You gotta get the
Nah,
book.
this is my cherry on top.
But that's a different day.
Yeah.
We 20. We ain't 21 yet.
Ah,
We
okay.
still virgins.
Wait
I
till
can't
next-
bring more clowns in my circus. He's
There's
going
something to
down.
be said for that
My
lifetime.
tank going
cheating.
dry.
Yeah, so you know. But yeah, Usher, I just hope, like, I know there's other dudes in that industry that really went,
Yeah, like, cause
Right.
he's like, oh, cause I used to mess with this chick that used to mess with Usher.
and I'm pretty sure Superhead probably got to him.
You said she gave it to him?
She probably got to him.
What? That is not what he
I
said.
mean, she
Because
got
remember,
that
he
out
was
there.
on fire, literally.
How you what?
He was on
No
fire
pun intended.
twice. With
When?
Confessions.
Oh, you talking about when he was hot?
Yeah, when he was
Wait,
hot.
not burning.
No,
No.
maybe hot.
We can do the
hold
top-
on.
the
We actually, I
timeline,
don't understand now. Cause is he hot cause he's nice,
And
or he's
fuego.
hot cause he's burning?
Whoa. Dude,
But when was he hot?
was double
Without
black.
burning.
No, he was okay. Hot without burning was prior to his marriage to his last wife, not the current.
So
because the lady
he got it
gave-
in between chili.
yeah,
So
no,
chili burnt him
No,
up.
after each other.
after the last wife.
So after you had chili, you got kind of
Burnt.
like real life. You got
You got
After
a
the-
hot
after the
pizza
other
burnt
wife
the
too.
roof of your mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Keep
he
it
got
real, huh?
it was a
Sauces.
bridesmaid from
So
his
he-
wedding.
So he,
Yeah, he started.
bridesmaid from his wedding
Right.
gave it to him.
No, that he gave it to her.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. So that mean the wife got it too?
I don't know.
Wait, I mean,
around.
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna go Kojak on the bridesmaid, not go Kojak on the wife.
True.
So I mean, the wife got it.
But we don't know the time stamp as far as like if it was after
you know
he
what's so
divorced
funny?
her.
I taught classes on HIV and STDs and stuff.
Yeah, we did too. That's how we met actually.
Right.
This is great. So you know, herpes is tricky. You may not get it. You may get it.
Right.
So
You
it's
could have,
tricky.
you could be.
Yeah, you could be
It's
with
like a
somebody.
Russian
You could be
roulette
somebody.
type thing.
You could be with somebody for a long time and they don't get herpes that you had, but
Yeah.
you mess with some Keisha from down the street. And
Right. You could possibly get herpes with protected sex.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's skin to skin contact.
Yeah.
You know, it takes like the pubic area. All right, we having a sex lesson right now.
Sharon is Karen.
Right,
Maybe
no,
I'm
but
here
yeah.
to learn this because maybe
Yeah.
they're just jumping off
The
conclusions.
yeah,
thinking-
for herpes, a condom
what
will
I'm
not cut it. Literally, it will not cut it.
And
so,
sometimes you don't have to wear condom and you
Fever
will cut it.
blisters.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how many people give oral sex thinking that that is okay without protection?
Yeah.
Not knowing that's just the same as like going raw. It's no different. Now you're gonna get the little bloopity bloop on your mouth instead of, you know? Yeah, little bump bump.
Well, it's on her mouth.
Right?
That's terrible.
It's crazy though.
That's
But you know
terrible.
what? I think that his PR people could possibly flip this.
He
and
got an
make
album
it-
song. He got an album about it.
No more Let It Burn Twice. No. It's gonna be
Let it burn.
about herpes awareness,
Kind of
maybe?
go Charlie Sheen on him.
Yeah, like you
See,
have
but
to.
we
What else can
win
you
it.
do?
Let me ask you a question. Is this?
A wake up call?
He has a different skin complexion than Charlie Sheen.
True.
Oh, totally different thing.
So, with that being said, you say he could go with Charlie. Charlie Sheen told and said, "Yeah, I had sex knowing I had HIV/AIDS."
And still not in jail.
Right.
Still not in jail, in the mansion, and they swept that right under the rug. He had enough money to get that
Right.
sweat.
Winning.
Yeah.
Right.
We still winning.
And now you got Usher with this. These are allegations.
Right.
Because
Allegations.
we don't know. We just joking about it. but
Right.
His skin complexion is going to play a big deal in this whole
Oh,
thing
without
right here.
question. Without
Well,
question.
herpes ain't life threatening like HIV.
But you know what's
It's
sad?
not.
You
but
got-
still,
You know how many people
if he had HIV and said that he had it, knowing he had it, that's murder for him.
But you
This
know
this
how
could
many
be
people,
murder and it could not be true. That's the sad part.
And Mr. Marcus did jail time for the syphilis. So I mean,
Right.
Syphilis kill Al Capone. Though. Syphilis, untreated syphilis, you drive you crazy.
Right, and turn your brain into cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. The thing
This
is,
is cheap.
the thing with that is that herpes been running around everywhere for a long time. You hear about it that somebody
Who you
allegedly, Mike Vick had it,
Right.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade had it.
Yeah. Wow.
These are the people that you see all the time, and they keep fucking each other in that industry. They see
Yeah.
they recycle their chicks and they just keep that
They
shit in
looking
the
for
circle.
the $1 million dick. No mind taking no casualty of war. It's
Exactly.
like playing football. None of these 100% injury prone is going to happen. So
Right.
that $10 million will give her some treatment, get her some
Yeah,
penicillin.
she
I
gonna
guess.
be alright. 10 man, she
She
gonna
gonna
be
be
alright.
shopping and itching.
Yo,
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
gonna
great.
somebody gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna hold you
Right,
down, baby.
Bloomingdale.
yeah, but not to stay on this topic
Don't
for
try
too
no
long.
clothes.
Yeah.
Remember when they had, like you said, it's been around because they had those herpes commercials
Yeah,
for a
herpes,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You running
Just
through the,
another day. She riding the
Yeah.
bike.
Yes.
Another day.
you know.
Dude riding with her tight like.
Valtrax.
Right.
But they don't play that commercial no more like they used to.
Why do you think that is?
Valtrax.
I don't know.
You know, Valtrax might be one of them lawyer commercials now.
Valtrax over
Probably the Valtrax
over
is
counter
giving-
now.
You take Valtrax and you get something else, so
Yeah.
it's something
No.
worse.
You know what's crazy?
Diarrhea,
When I worked at the inpatient program, it was dudes in there with stuff. And one of the dudes had herpes, but I could read, so I'm like, oh okay. It's
Right on, brother.
It's Valtrax, but then the medical term something different. I'm looking at this, oh man. And one dude had to take it every morning.
Yeah, take it every morning.
Take it every morning before he went to work.
He caught a bad one.
Yeah.
He caught the wrong one. He,
I think he came in there.
he
with
must
what?
he must have just that thing must look like Nestle Crunch. He still fucked it. Like,
But you
yo,
can't
fuck
see it sometimes. That's when it's don't.
It was dark.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Lady
Yeah.
Eloise.
And why? But you finger popped that felt like Braille, nigga. You should have stopped right there.
Oh
like,
my
what
God.
the fuck is
What would you do for a Klondike?
Oh my
Right.
god.
So-
this was
What, you got your man R. Kelly taking pages out of Rick James' book this week.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, you know what's so funny about R. Kelly?
What?
They don't
It's
care, man.
always a silver lining.
Listen, when R. Kelly was peeing on chicks back in the 2000s, I know females is like, y'all let him pee on me. I'm like,
Well, he to me is Charlie Sheen for us. He's literally
I
could get
think
it.
he's
He's
worse.
gotten away with peeing on underage children. Right?
That's the reality of it. Like
It's on tape.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Little
He
cute
had
Louise,
all he
guys.
had was the glasses with the fake nose and the mustache. Like damn, that's R. Kelly.
With
You
a
got a
gut.
platinum plaque on the wall saying R. Kelly.
In his mansion. Right.
Yeah. So
That's not me.
he's
Right.
he's
That's a
our
fine
Charlie
person.
Sheen if you want to think about it. He go to court when he want to. He had a court date scheduled for one day.
Then he went mask in court. He did the
Yeah.
had the Batman shit.
And went late.
Zorro.
Court
With
started at
Zorro.
9. He's there at 1 o'clock. Like,
With the Zorro man.
like
He
hello.
was
I
in the
mean,
closet.
I'm like, yo,
That's
this
a
was
bad
crazy.
Tuesday.
getting some punani.
Word. Like, he's our Charlie Sheen.
He is.
He had to just taking it to the extreme.
All right, now this thing. If he didn't physically kidnap you, and you went there willingly,
Right.
that's your fault.
What if he's holding you against your will? What if I came willingly?
How do you
now I
hold
can't
somebody-
How you famous can hold anybody against their will?
I wouldn't know. I've never been kidnapped, but I'm
Oh,
sure it
listen.
happens often. These, you know.
Well, he has gotten
I got
smarter.
kidnapped by the cops all the time,
Oh
and
my
they helped me for years. With the ransom my mother couldn't pay.
Well, you gotta give him a little credit. He has gotten a little smarter. At least now the girl's over 18.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not 16 and 17 though, boy.
And the girl that's supposedly was in the cult the father is
sounds so
speaking
crazy.
up, but the girl is like,
Mind
Dad,
your
you
business."
wilding out. Like,
I'm
I'm
on R.
here
Kelly's.
because some music, trying to get on or whatever.
No,
and it was supposed to be for like what, couple months, ended up being longer.
He dropped
So
it
now
off.
the father is like, yo, just you should keep my daughter. And she like, nah, chill, you bugging.
Well, I heard R. Kelly was violating though. Have him stand in the corner.
Put them in sweatpants.
Like if you laugh at a nigga joke, he just look at you like, you in trouble later. Like, yeah,
It
you
sounds
gonna
like
be
he's
the
a
porta
pimp.
potty
Not,
later.
yeah, it sounds like some real
Iceberg
pimp.
Slim.
Yeah.
He like, you gonna be stepping in the lane of love with the urine on you later.
Oh my gosh. I think the only difference though, I'm gonna bring it back to like the only difference between Charlie Sheen and R. Kelly though, and I noticed
Skin complexion.
not just the skin complexion.
Yeah,
R. Kelly got a baldy.
No,
He got
Block.
cornrows.
it's the way we react to it as a culture. Like we laugh about it versus like when this happens in Caucasian communities, it's not a butt of a joke. It's
But let me
kind of
ask
like
something.
something. That's why it goes under the rug.
Yeah,
We
that's
make
true.
memes.
Yeah,
we allow other cultures
we
to make
nitpick.
memes,
Right.
and we share them, and
We
we
nitpick
laugh,
the shit
and
out
we
of
joke, and we go, ha ha, look, he's the Pied Piper. Versus saying, I'm outraged. We don't say I'm outraged. We go, oh, look, another meme.
Remember when Obama first ran for president? He won the Iowa caucus, and they was like, "Oh yeah, the black man and president got chicken and watermelon, having
Right.
barbecue on the lawn."
And I was excited.
So again, we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves.
Wait, now do you realize that you shouldn't have been excited?
No, I just realized
No.
that barbecue wasn't real.
No,
The barbecue wasn't real. I'm like, damn,
You
where was the
shouldn't-
barbecue
you
the
shouldn't
whole
have
8
been
years? Not
excited
one
'cause it's like
barbecue.
they're making light of our culture,
They did
and
play
then we're
basketball
doing
back
it.
then.
But
We're
white people don't have top lips.
Yeah, but they don't joke about not having a top lip themselves. You understand?
They got portfolios.
Right.
My mother always said, don't trust nobody don't got a top lip.
Right.
but you're right
Straight
because
lies.
on another note, Walmart just put out they had the
The
thing.
nigga
with-
color.
Yeah, nigga brown.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brown
weave
do
and
rag.
cap.
Yeah.
Right,
Weave
yeah,
cap.
the nigga
Yeah.
brown weave cap.
I
And
ain't know niggas just came in just in that color though. Let me tell you honest truth. I didn't
you're
think
right.
niggas came
But
just
like
in
you
one
said,
color.
we do make light of the situation.
Versus, yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna base it back to insecurity. I swear to God, everything is like insecurity.
Yeah.
Because when we see stuff like that, just like on the radio, I think you had called in when Conor McGregor had told Floyd Mayweather, "Dance, boy, dance."
Yeah.
That's a racial slur.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
But of course, you meet ignorance with ignorance when you're dealing with Floyd Mayweather. He throws money
Right.
to substitute the fact that you being, it's not racially profiled, but targeted.
You being
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He is a racist though.
Okay, well,
He's a racist.
You ain't
Who
what he
was
said?
he? Who you referring
Conor
to?
McGregor. You
Okay.
ain't what he said? He was on Jimmy Kimmel, right? So what's up? Guillermo was like something about who would you beat in Rocky 3? So he's like Rocky 3. He's like,
oh yeah,
that's what the Dancing Monkeys.
oh, yeah,
that's what-
Was
Yeah.
they dancing
Reference
monkeys
to
in
Apollo.
Rocky 3?
Yeah.
Making reference to
No,
Apollo.
Clubber Lanes.
all that I name and
Right.
things like that. So for Walmart to say nigga brown, and for us to say make light of the herpes situation with Usher and the coke situation with
R. Kelly.
right. We made light of Charlie Sheen, his AIDS thing, but we always make light of what? Buck,
Anything.
you know,
Anything.
Magic
Everything.
Johnson,
Right.
everything.
I make
but,
light of everything.
You know, we always find the silver lining to make it be more calm.
Tolerable.
So when the other communities look at us, they can take us as a joke. So
Right.
there's always Black Lives Matter. Cool. Then we march. Then you sue. Then you get the money. Then you're
Fades
quiet.
away. Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
again,
and
everything's
then let's
swept
go
under the
back. Somebody gets shot. Black Lives Matter. We march.
And what's the
You
definition
sue.
of insanity?
You get the
right,
money.
You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And this is
Feminism.
why when I saw like the R. Kelly and the Kevin Hart's and the Usher Raymond, all of that stuff, I was like, yeah, it sounds funny, but what if this stuff is really not true? And now we're ruining somebody's long-standing career. Usher, I've been like in love with since I was 9. You know what I'm saying? So now,
He's
not that
dope,
it's
though.
gonna change how I feel about him musically. It does tarnish his image.
Right.
Now, if it's not real, if it is media manipulation, and just feeding us a story because it sounds good, like what does that do to the person?
See, but this is the thing also about media. Next week, it's gonna be something else.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it's gonna be something else.
But the damage will be done. For
It,
Usher.
it really won't be. So we're gonna hear about it. Boom, it's over. Next, it's over until it's back to being his turn again till another herpes breakout happened. Because now you got the one, she get 1.1 million, which I don't feel is enough. Now it's somebody else saying, he gave it to me too, but I'm suing for 10 million.
You don't think 1.1 million is enough to cure her for a herpes situation?
Hell no.
Absolutely.
You think it should be more?
Hell no.
You think
There's
she should
somebody
get
down the
more?
street with herpes, they ain't get shit but herpes.
For that needle.
No, I got you. I got that.
And
But let's
penicillin.
just say he giving away the money because he knew he had it, right?
Well, that's a criminal
Right.
case.
So
Right.
boom. So now let's say he's because this supposed to have been settled way before we knew. So let's just say he knew already, right? Boom. The settlement is 1.1 million. If the money probably ran out just by what we hearing about it now.
Right.
You can't give me 1 million. Like what I'm gonna do
That's
with
what you're
that?
worried about saying is not enough?
Yeah.
What you gonna do with it?
Listen,
Give me 1.1 million.
What you gonna do?
invest.
I'm gonna do a lot.
Gonna get some cream.
I'm buying a franchise.
Listen, I'm gonna have some cream in my Ferrari like this.
Then your money's gone. You got a Ferrari?
I'm gonna buy you.
This is what I'm saying.
Certified you.
This is
Oh,
what
you.
this
No.
is what I'm saying.
50,000
It's
miles.
what I'm saying, but look, in the media, this gonna go over quick. This ain't gonna be. This ain't gonna be.
I get that in the
look,
media. I'm saying the impact on Usher's life will be affected.
It ain't
not
gonna
just
be
the
affected
media
because it's so
lifespan.
fast.
Not
Because
long.
things move along.
They
I
can't
don't
be
understand
like
what
laughing
you're
like they ain't
saying.
No,
talking about me
underst-
this week.
I understand what you're saying, but Usher has enough money to probably hide out for a while, be quiet.
Does he have to hide out?
Right.
Just pay a publicist to make it like you mentioned.
Go
Hey, you know
away.
what? We're gonna help raise awareness to herpes and and keep it moving.
He's still gonna be on The Voice.
He may lose a few sponsorships.
Yeah, fucking no.
He might lose the voice because
Yeah,
that's kind of like
he's
a-
on that every day.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
not gonna
difference.
lose The Voice. If you lose The Voice, you're gonna get right back. Because guess what? Kobe settled for that rape case. He lost everything, got it right back. Sprite, McDonald's.
Yeah, you get
Snicker
it.
Deal.
You get it back, but it takes time.
Takes time.
He's gonna lose the voice.
And Kobe, that's rape.
Well, Ray Lewis killed somebody.
White woman.
Right.
And what happened with Ray
Kobe,
Lewis?
white women.
There was a backlash in the
No,
beginning, and
he
then
don't-
eventually moved on, and eventually when he retired, was working for ESPN and Fox. So
Sure did.
you know,
He
Exactly.
said she was a freak from the get go. So
Oh, yeah, true, but
You
still,
can't
she
speak on
was
what we
white.
don't know. You know what, you guys?
The chick, Usher probably, if that's a bridesmaid to my wife and she has sex with me, she a freak too. She ain't shit too.
Freaks of shit. Don't say that.
No. I mean, if that's like my best man having sex with my wife. He wasn't my best man at all
Oh, that I
because
get.
he definitely didn't
But
have
what
my
if they
best
did things
interest in.
together, and that's why the other entity was even present. We can't speculate on what we don't know.
We definitely cannot. So moving along.
Right.
One thing I do know. Free juice for everybody.
Yes, right.
Yeah, my man.
OJ be home in October.
I know
Yeah.
it first.
But I knew he was coming home though.
and OJ still ain't fucking with no black people.
I don't care.
Through all this drama, he still ain't fucking with no black people.
Because we keep fucking with him. Everybody keeps talking shit about OJ.
And we
I
make
fucks
light of
with
that
OJ.
situation, but that's funny. I think we can make light of that situation.
Mm.
First of all, if you want to put it out, let's say he beat a double murder rap. Boom, you beat that, right? You only got the 33 years because you beat the murder rap.
Oh, that was
No,
just
no.
You know they gave him 33 years
No, no.
because of that.
on the exact day 13 years prior.
Right, you know what
to the
I
month of
mean?
the-
So they going, so the judge he took 33 years. We heard that, was like, oh wow, he gonna do that, he gonna die in there.
Right.
He's up for parole in 9 years. Look how fast 9 years went. He just went to jail like 2 years
It
ago.
wasn't
Something
fast
like
for
that.
him.
No.
I'm just
He
saying,
did
for
9
us.
drinks. He did 9 drinks.
No,
That's
for-
what he did. He did 9.
No, but I'm
Fast?
just,
What is he talking about?
I heard
I'm
about
just
that
saying.
shit years ago. Like,
Look
yeah,
how-
I was in jail. Like, damn, OJ
The
gone.
softball
Yeah.
commissioner for 9 years.
I went,
Look-
came home, did another bid. OJ just come home.
yeah, but I'm just saying, look how fast it goes when you're in the world doing stuff. Everything is moving like
Yeah.
that nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true.
I just thought.
So now he coming home on parole for a robbery of stealing, trying to steal his
His
stuff
own
back.
property.
From a friend of his.
Right.
This
Like,
is the
come
fucked
on,
up
man.
thing about OJ. See, it happened in Vegas. You do time different in Vegas. Because ain't no man in New York State got to get 33 years up for parole in 9. You got to do about 85 of that. Anyway, this is where he messed up
With
at.
the law library.
He made light of the situation after he got knocked. He going to court talking about something. I thought what happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. I said, OJ, shut up. Shit ain't roofed for that.
Like, be
Get
humble.
it to the end of that. Yeah, but everybody mad at OJ coming home. I don't understand why.
No.
People praise criminals all day.
It's not
all the
about being
time.
Mad. No, I'm not mad.
All
that
the
he's
time.
coming
Why are
home.
you okay? What's the problem with OJ?
I'm
What's the problem with
upset
OJ?
with the like, yay, OJ come
Yeah.
home from the black community for a
Why not?
I
person
agree with you
who
on that.
does not even represent our community.
He does.
Now listen,
Oh.
listen.
Okay.
I'm not against him for his crime. My father's a murderer. I'm not even. You understand? It's
Is
not
your
about
father
being.
is your father in jail for murder? He get
He's
convicted?
serving 2 life sentences right now.
OJ did not do time for murder. He's just a thief.
But understand, my bias is not about the murders. It's about him as a person not receiving his own community. And now when he gets out for these murders that we all believe that he did, it's been an ongoing joke in our community.
Right.
Now we're praising him. What the fuck did OJ do for us?
listen.
He told us he wasn't one of us. Why am I cheering on for a fucking
time out.
rapist and a murderer, a
Okay.
woman beater?
No,
Why am I like
listen,
excited?
listen.
I don't want my dad to come home.
Listen,
I'm
you-
scared of him.
Well, your dad ain't coming home.
Right.
Like-
You know what? Let's knock on
Yeah.
wood. You understand? You might get an OJ too.
Free
I don't
ghost.
know. Right.
All right, this is my thing.
Right,
Sonny.
exactly.
Right.
Everybody don't like women beaters. I'm pretty sure you heard Chris Brown at least one time this week. That's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this. I don't want to bring this out on
Right.
air, but OJ's our secret agent.
Oh my God,
He
yo.
gonna stay out the black community.
Okay.
Keep fucking the white community out as much as he
Right.
can.
Oh, he's the mole.
He
on
is
the
the
other
mole.
side.
He's
Gotcha.
fucking their community up.
Gotcha.
That's why he
Secret
can't get out
entity.
the media
And
because
you know-
they can't let it go.
Right.
They can't let it
Hey,
go.
we let this nigga infiltrate the system, and this is
in
what he's
there. I'm not
done.
black, I'm OJ. They're like, okay, come
Right.
on, OJ. You gonna
Now,
fuck, you gonna kill your women.
know what's
You gonna
crazy?
steal his shit back.
That
You
makes
gonna do
sense.
everything.
That makes sense.
I was
Right.
again. I was watching the Defiant Ones. I watched that
Mhm.
that documentary again,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a part where Dr. Dre is going to his new home that's being built, and he passes the school
Mhm.
that his daughter went to, the recital that his daughter had at the school. He's like, oh yeah, that's the school that OJ's daughter went to right before he killed his wife. Like, so, oh shit. Like literally, he's like, yeah, this is school, and they slowed down the camera. You see the school, like. I said, oh shit. Cause what part of LA was that? Brentwood. And he was, cause that, oh, you gotta see this house. But they showed that school.
Studios.
House is
Yeah.
crazy.
It's not. It's being built. It's still dirt.
It's still
wood.
being built right now.
Yeah.
Ask Michelle A about that now.
Right. But if you watch that documentary,
Yeah.
he did apologize because Michelle A wasn't the only person he beat.
I believe him.
I'm sure.
He's not like a one-headed credit.
I'm not black. I'm Dr. Dre.
Right.
Yeah,
But
right.
I think that was a little different because them niggas, they was like, we're niggas with attitudes, and people said nick when they saw a nigga, they ain't see the WA, they just saw niggas.
Uh-huh.
And his
Still niggas.
his well, her defense was that Dr. Dre's brother had passed away,
Mm.
and when he passed away, his brother was like, "Yo, can you take me on tour with you? Let me come." He felt like if I would have took you, you would have still been here.
Yeah, I see NWA.
And then everything started spiraling. Started drinking, and then that's when they was doing the breakup. The girl that did the interview, I think it was called "Pump It Up" at the
D
time.
from Pump It Up.
Yeah.
I still got that on tape.
So
Mhm.
he beat her up bad.
Oh, he whipped her.
Oh,
Right?
D Bonds.
D Barnes.
Yeah, D. Barnes from Pump It Up, and he beat her bad. He apologized for it again.
Yeah, I
But
bet he did.
When we saw Miss Chalet, we was like, they ain't show this shit in coming, you know,
Right.
straight out of Compton.
Right.
Sure did.
But in the documentary, it literally breaks down how parallel Jimmy Iovine's life is to Dr. Dre's life, and you be like, damn, whoever directed this is like on point.
Right.
And like he was like, yo, you know, that was a big mistake I did. And I'm like, all right, he did beat Michelle that bad because he beat.
You know,
beat
it's something to
Barnes
be
bad,
said
too.
about geniuses. Like we would think Dr. Dre's a genius.
Right.
We think Prince. I think Prince is a genius. Michael Jackson. You know, these guys all have something that by being so smart and so talented in one area, something's missing.
Right.
You know, like
I think it's social skills
But
because
he's
a lot
so-
of times they're stuck in just focusing on their craft.
Mhm.
They can't do nothing else because again, thus Kanye, he's so focused on his craft.
They
It's
hit the
like
Kardashian curve.
right, yeah. Now I think he again to me he's one of them. He's a genius musically,
Right.
but on the first album he said what he said. I promised my girlfriend's father I'll marry her. That never happened. Yeah.
Look at Gold Digger. He's living that song right. Every time I
Right.
hear it, I want to tweet like, "What if Kanye heard this in front of Kim?" Like, what? That's his life, right? It's like he jinxed this.
Well, I think that's why he went so hardcore. I think in his mind that was like his prize,
Right.
and to go after this woman, and you know,
Well,
obviously,
why is white women the prize for some
that's
successful black men?
That's been the case for many years. But
Easy come.
you know, it's just obviously black men look at, and it's sad because when I played football, I didn't obviously make no real money, but when I was in those circles, the white girls were more aggressive than the black girls, but they knew how to get into hotels, they knew how to play the game.
Okay.
It's a science to that. That's why it's not by coincidence all these athletes are married to white women. They're in those worlds, and the perception is the black girl's gonna take your money. In actuality, the white girl's taking your money harder because you get the lawyer. You might not buy the bag, but she's getting the lawyer, she's getting the house, and she's
taking the
taking
marble
everything.
off the fire.
You married, Cal?
Yes.
Okay, so I ain't gonna ask you that.
You can ask. That's okay.
So you had some white women.
Not in a long time.
No, not lately. Not lately.
Not recently.
Not lately.
No,
I'm just
no.
saying, like your college days, because you
The
went to
obedient
college
auntie.
out this. You went from New York. You went out of state. You went to Tennessee, right?
Right.
Wow.
But see, I wasn't really. Well, it wasn't an interest to me. Like I mean, obviously, being from the Bronx, Spanish
Right.
women, things like that. But I mean, I never had an interest to say like, okay, she's white, I'm not interested. But it just never came my way like that.
Oh,
Obviously, probably more when I got in business, those options opened up. But it wasn't when I was. It wasn't not being attracted. A lot of beautiful white women. I just wasn't
not
my
Not
thing.
your thing.
Okay.
Just,
Right.
Okay.
Look.
Now,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
leave out here.
yeah.
We in home. I leave out here, and we some white women try to tech me up. Right?
White women in there.
All over the damn
You
place.
know, it's definitely white women.
That ain't
Oh,
parole officers.
huh?
I said that ain't parole officers.
We have a law library segment
Mhm.
Yeah, we do.
every week. So now we gonna get into your business, guy.
Let's do it.
So
I'm an open book to some stuff.
Okay, we had college. You in the Bronx. All right, what high school you went to?
Went to Evander Childs.
EV, I just passed that school on the way
Yeah.
over here. EV, I went there
You
for
went-
summer school.
Yeah, I went there for night school. Them Jamaicans over there is rough.
Yeah.
They are rough. Like no, they cool, but they rough.
What part of the Bronx is that?
South.
Gun
no,
Hill.
that's north.
Northeast
Gun
Bronx.
Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Gun Hill Road.
yeah. Gun Hill section.
But it was cool. I met a girl from there one day. I was in night school. This was years ago. And then you got what's them projects next to it?
Gun Hill houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm.
Mhm.
No.
Sounds interesting.
It is.
Right.
You went to what? You
It
went
builds
to,
character.
Right.
You went to college on a scholarship?
No, I walked on. I was a walk on.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I walked on and walked right back up. Because that world down there is just a different world.
Yeah.
Them boys down there, that's all they got. And
But
if
football, yeah.
they don't make it, like was a guy I knew, he don't make it. Guys either working at Walmart or like the Al Bunny, the Poke High,
Okay,
and he's
yeah,
selling shoes. That's the mentality there. So
Yeah.
I realized
let
that.
me cook.
Right, that's a whole. Well, that was because of bad decisions. But
Right.
these guys are sometimes just not good enough. So that mentality of playing, football and do that, I had a CFL tryout, and I came back home. That didn't work out. So like I said, then I played some semi-pro football.
Okay.
But again, I mean, it takes a special individual. Like I don't begrudge any athlete. By the time they're 40, they can't walk. And now we find about head trauma. They can't talk. They blowing their brains out. So I don't begrudge anybody make the money you can make because you got a real small window. It's funny because many years ago I did a commercial with Shannon Sharp, and Jason Sehorn. After I left football, then I was trying to find myself, so trying to do acting. And I did a
Okay.
commercial for Charles Schwab, and Jason Sehorn was an asshole. It's like I don't know if you guys watch sports, but right after he had the knee surgery with the Giants, he had hurt his knee and he was coming back. He sat in his trailer. Shannon would come out and have lunch with us and stuff, and really was really cool. And the reason why I bring that because somebody was telling me about the Shannon Sharp they see on Undisputed. Like, wow, I didn't know he was that cool. I was like, well, you gotta up close personal with the guy and enjoy it. Just how somebody that had everything. The Broncos just won a Super Bowl, but he was so normal. But again, like I said, too, when it comes to sports and athletes, whether either you play high school, college, you know, there is some type of level of pedestal that people put you on, and you don't even have to be that good. I wouldn't consider myself a superstar athlete. Had no sense of imagination, but just, you know, people think you're special, and some people actually go on a little too strong.
It's the
Uniform and the, you know, the varsity jacket and that
Yeah, I
whole
always
mentality.
wanted varsity jacket.
I had a varsity jacket. I had to buy it from Mitchell and that stuff.
I want the actual folded
You
joint,
know.
the
Oh my
Detroit
God.
joint.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
when
$5.
you went into college, right, and you were playing football, did you think that was gonna be like your meal ticket? Did you know that you wanted
No,
to be
I
media?
knew that, you know, that was, I mean, I wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest, wasn't the fastest, so I had a realization.
What was your major?
I was a broadcasting major.
Oh, so you knew.
so you
Okay.
well-
Well,
much was headed this
yeah,
direction
but,
from the start.
but then I left broadcasting to go to business, and then went on to, then I came back, went to City College, went to BCC for a year. Then
I went there.
Then
went
went
there
to
for
Sid-
2 weeks.
Why you ain't stay?
Wasn't for me.
It was like when
It
you
was
can
like
go
the
to
13th
when
grade?
you can walk into college
and do everything on your own is different.
August 29th and then start classes August 30th.
It's
So
crazy.
I did that for a year and I transferred over to City College and was at CCNY when I got back. So, you know, and then was just working at Sears. That's actually where it's funny how the radio thing, even this is going back late 80s, early 90s. Where I met Backstage Ed, where we worked on the stock room in Sears on Fordham Road. Ain't no,
I was actually was on four.
yeah. So that's how we met years ago through that process. And,
And
then-
you still had this radio, because you have the radio voice.
you know what? When I was a kid, obviously sports was one thing, but I always wanted to be a reporter.
Okay.
I never, you dream about a lot of things, but just,
Yeah.
whatever. I was always one of, but I never really saw myself, after I started going to school and stuff, I didn't see myself doing that. I just kind of saw myself being that professional guy, pouring a suit every day, read New York Times, and,
Nah.
and try to make some money, and didn't know where I wanted to do. Didn't know what I was doing, how to get there. But working at Sears, it was almost like it was almost being in a college campus because everybody was like 18 to 23, and
Okay.
so everybody was working and trying to go
Trying
to
to find
school,
themselves,
find
right.
themselves
Right.
exactly, with parties and you mess with all the girls and it was just like being in college. And I was going to school and I was trying to go through that and had to help out at home and my sister who actually helped raise me a little bit. She had some kids and I was helping her out with her kids. My brother was around, but he was in his own world. And at that time I was just a guy that really was just trying to find himself. Like people ask me today, they'll go, wow, Kevin, you had these conversations, you really got it together. But at 21, 22, I had no clue.
Absolutely not.
I had no clue, and didn't know where to get it from.
Right.
Wasn't playing football anymore. I had the semi-pro and the CFL stuff, but that was done. And really just was trying to find my way. And then I obviously had an opportunity to open up at Sears to go into management, and I did that. And I got tired of working in Fordham Road with people, even though that Fordham Road Sears was the #1 appliance Sears in the country.
What?
And you might say, how the
No,
hell
but
are people
shit,
in the
that been there
project?
for years.
Right, but how are people in the
It just closed
projects?
down, really.
Well, a couple years ago, but that Sears had rats. It was infested. How is that Sears beating the Sears in the suburbs
Right.
with like appliances? But they were. Like, people putting $500 washing machines in their project apartments and probably couldn't pay their rent.
Right.
But and somebody in the suburbs
city
was
was
going
paying
with their
for it.
little books and saying,
Coupons.
yeah, exactly.
They
So
were going to finger cut.
it was moving that way. So
Right.
I became a manager with that and did that for a few years. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to work weekends. I'm tired of dealing with this nonsense. And got an opportunity to go into work for a company called WorldCom. And at the time, WorldCom was this internet company when the internet was starting to break. And their biggest sponsor or celebrity endorsement was Michael Jordan.
Ooh.
There was a guy named Bernie Ebbers. He was they based the company out of Jackson, Mississippi, right? So I get the job, right? They go, oh yeah, we're gonna send you to Jackson, Mississippi. Now, obviously, being South, it wasn't the issue with going to Mississippi because Tennessee ain't no better.
Right.
But so I go to meet, and then lo and behold, the CEO comes in, this Canadian guy who's wearing cowboy boots in Mississippi. How's a white Canadian get to Jackson, Mississippi wearing cowboy boots? So he brings out, he said, you know what? He's like one of these rallies, got all the sales reps. He said, I want to pump everybody up. And he brings out Michael Jordan.
Michael
So
Jordan?
you met Michael Jordan?
Well, I didn't meet him personally. I was sitting in the audience and he was
Okay.
on stage.
How many people was in the audience?
Yeah, about 1,200 people.
Oh, see,
okay.
that's not meeting Michael Jordan. That's like
No,
watching
No,
him
I'm
play.
just saying hello. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
If it was 4 years, I'd be like, yo, I love Michael Jordan.
Now people laugh at Jordan about that quote he made at North Carolina this year, but the ceiling is the roof, something like that. He said something that he knew nothing about telecom, he knew nothing about data, and he was just saying stuff. I can't even tell you what he was saying, but we were just all sniggering. Oh, that's Mike. We were just in awe with Michael Jordan, but
What year was this?
this was '96, so this was
He won a chip.
yeah, exactly. And then WorldCom fell apart, and the data thing wasn't happening. And but I had always went to school for broadcasting. So I said, I'm gonna go into advertising
Okay.
and kind of link into that. And I found an opportunity with a company that does all the bus shelters, all the bus stops here in New York. A company called
Right.
Samusa. They had just won the bid from CBS Outdoor, and there was an opportunity to kind of take my skills. I always could talk, and will you have personality, presence, just learn the product. So I started doing that, and I started bringing in urban type businesses on bus shelters, which kind of people who I was working with, like how are you getting these? Who are these companies?
Right.
Because I was the only black guy there. For one, number two, these companies weren't household names. They were companies uptown. Before the gentrification in Harlem, there were companies from the Bronx, and there was an opportunity to kind of
So
bring.
it's like with the investment, you start off with the penny stock.
Yeah, pretty
And
much,
then-
and just grow up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And when you're in business and people see things, and they're wanting to know who are you and how are you getting that, and what makes you different than everybody else. And I never felt any different. It's like I'm a black guy, and I know the reality that I'm dealing with here. I know the reality where people are saying things, and nobody taught me anything. I had to pretty much learn it myself. When I first went to this company, when I first went to WorldCom, I didn't know how to email. I'm like, why can't I just tell the person's right next door, hey, here's the agreement? No, you got to email it, and I didn't know. And again, it's very early
And
on in
you
the process.
This is your early 20s.
Early 20s, and I mean, like, it's funny. Keeping it real. What the hell is the email? I know it like at the time, but it didn't grow. But then I went from that to being able to manage digital agreements, and then going into advertising with Samusa, and then growing into the radio game. So it was a process, and through that process, I actually got back into football on the business side with some semi-pro leagues. I started doing advertising and marketing for them.
Okay.
And my old coach, rest his soul, Tim Andrews, is a semi-pro team out of Connecticut, the Connecticut Giants. He's the one that plugged me with the Shannon Sharp and stuff like that, all those interviews, because his cousin coached at Florida State with Bobby Bowden, Mickey Andrews. Everybody knows college football. So I was able to get into that circle, and while I wasn't playing ball anymore, I was still meeting those people through him.
Okay.
He would kind of took me under his wing,
Networking.
networking on a business level. Like, look, he's a rich white guy out of Connecticut, and he was like, look, this is what you do here and that, and really, that knowledge opened up a whole new world that I didn't even know I was ready for, but it opened up a new world.
So you was interning basically.
I was playing
and getting the experience.
right. I was
at the
playing.
same
I was
time.
playing semi-pro ball up in Connecticut, but I was a player. But he took me on the business side. He just found that he just said, just found that fascination with me, like the way I communicate. And started going up there on the weekdays instead of just after practice hanging out, going to his house and just really seeing the business side of it. More on the sports advertising at that point in time. But, again, it just taught me a lot of things about business, about stocks, about 401k, portfolios. And this is stuff I had no clue. I never learned this in high school.
Right.
My mother was a hardworking woman. She didn't, my father, rest his soul, was somebody who sold cars, but he was like a street guy. He owned a bar in Harlem. I know he didn't save his money because we had to pay for his funeral. So they didn't have that. So here I am meeting somebody totally different, out of my comfort zone, that's telling me about, well, you want to give your job 6% each paycheck, 6%. I want my check,
Nah.
right? Because you build your 401k, and I'm like, why would I do that? No, I need all my money right now.
Right.
But learning that, and then learning the sports stuff and the advertising just helped set up me for future that I had no clue was going to happen.
That's dope. You see how God is working, and you don't
Or-
even
or
know.
don't
like,
even know, right,
the
exactly.
skills are being put into place.
Pretty much, right?
That's good. That's really good.
I guess fast forwarding from that was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Fast forward to about 2007. I was with Clear Channels, with a Clear Channel affiliate, and again doing advertising and media. And my brother was starting to do the comedy stuff. He did a show with JT Justice.
This is Rodeo.
Rodeo, right? Yeah, he did a show with JT Justice and what's his name, Rob Stapleton and those guys.
Okay.
And he pretty much just
I have Rob Stapleton's son on my
See,
show.
Bomb?
He bombed.
It's horrible.
He tried to pick on some girls, some big girls in the front row. He made a comment and they just lit him up.
That's right, the girls.
They
I'm
lit,
sorry,
they
I'm
lit
sorry.
him up. They lit him
Oh
up.
man.
So he tells me like, yo, I gotta find a way to advertise. And at this time, internet radio wasn't out yet. You was doing radio, so you had to do like traditional FM or AM podcasts were now. There was no apps or anything. I said, well, look, what you need to do is create a newsletter. This is how far back this was.
I know. 'Cause me and
Email
her did-
newsletter,
we
right.
did
Yeah, we was on the newsletter.
like 2
Right.
days.
And he did that and didn't work out, and he left that alone. Me and Ed stayed cool. We still were hitting the backstage Ed, still hitting the clubs and stuff
Okay.
like that. And then around 2010, my cousin Sapphire, who's Sapphire Blues part of the show. You be with family. We just kind of reconnected on Facebook. Like, hey, how you doing, cuz? It wasn't in a circle and like that. But then we met out for drinks, and she said, I'm doing this internet radio thing. The hell are you internet radio?
Right.
Wasting your time doing that. So she's like, yeah, it's fun. I do it out of my house, whatever. So I didn't tell that to my brother, like, hey, you know what? I don't know if you're still doing that newsletter, but you should leave that alone now. Maybe
Internet radio.
Yeah, that's starting. Just go like Live 365 or some of the things that were like really. Blog Talk was out then.
Okay.
So do a show. We tried to find. I wasn't looking to do it with him at all.
Right.
So I said, let me help you find some co-hosts. And I remember meeting a girl at the Applebee's on 125th. We used to be there, and we met this girl there. And I said, hey, this be a good show on him and my brother. She's like, oh, okay, this is not gonna work. My brother could be really loud, so Trev no, but it just didn't work out. So that was 2010, 2011, nothing happened. 2012, Simone is still doing her thing on her own. It ain't really going nowhere. And I said, you know what? Let's do a show. I'm going to help you with the show. So I had a buddy of mine from the football world that was trying to start something called Rebel Radio. It was, nothing crazy. And on my birthday, May 19th, 2012, we were in Panera Bread. Now, at the time, my missus like, let's go out. No, I got to do this radio show. Radio show? So we go to Panera Bread. They got the free Wi-Fi. We go, it was a Saturday. I don't know why we did it on a Saturday because it's crowded. Nobody's at work. So we go and sit in the corner, and we have a wire. The wire's on the floor, so we tell people don't trip over the wire.
Oh my God.
And we got mics, not as good as these 2 Radio Shack mics, and we're doing we call ourselves doing a show. And then I'll be the manager saying, I can't do this. If somebody trips, I'm getting sued.
Right.
So we had to leave. 2 weeks later, a friend of mine, I went to high school, we had one of these class reunions at his house. So we set up the table and, we was doing a live radio show from we thought it was live, we just was recording it from the block, from the house.
Right.
So my old coach comes by and goes, oh, my old high school coach, this is nice, Kev, call me KP, this is nice, KP. This is gonna go somewhere. I said, what the hell are you talking about? Even I didn't believe it.
Right.
Like, whatever. 2012, we going through a Rebel Radio crash, and the guy gets tired of bringing out his laptop and setting up, so that runs out. 2013, some people at WRN reach out to me. Now, in the past, which I didn't mention, WRN is the station we're on today in PA.
Okay.
I was helping them doing some marketing stuff. When I was at Samusa doing the bus shows, I put some stuff up for them locally.
So the seed's been planted.
So it was
a long
already
time
planted.
ago.
And me and the dude was cool. He actually was somebody that was like, yo, at that time just wanted to kind of build his New York presence.
Well, when all right,
Mhm.
not to go, but
Yeah.
when you did the bus,
Yeah.
right? Did you keep in contact with these people?
Well,
Once you
obviously,
started your
Rodeo is my brother, so I always spoke to him. Simone, I started, keeping in touch now that we connected on social media. I knew the people at WRN. They were doing their shows.
Right.
And but it was just internet radio. It wasn't at the time really wasn't appealing to me, even though I was trying to help my brother.
Oh.
When 2012 hit, and I did the show with him just to try to help him. It's really more about him. This wasn't about
Right.
trying to build a show. Just like when you get a gig or two, this is going to end this.
Right.
So we kept in touch. But then in 2012, I was like, well, instead of doing this Panera Bread thing, maybe we could actually take the MP3 and ship it off to somebody. So we started doing that.
Okay.
Very pedestrian. And we kept it growing, and we met a guy named Cool Mike G at the Mount Vernon. He was actually part of WRN in Mount Vernon. I didn't know that he was a DJ doing music. So we said, wow, we don't have a studio. We can do this stuff with him. So a young lady, and I always thank her for her time, named Tay Moore. She owned a tattoo parlor on 149th and 3rd. A tattoo parlor and a beauty parlor all in one spot.
Hey.
And next door was a nail place owned by a bunch of Mexicans.
On the hub.
All right, it's right on 3rd Ave, right by that Modell's.
Yeah.
Go upstairs.
Right.
right?
All right.
Alright.
So we was like, all right, Mike can help us with the data stuff, and he's a DJ, and we could do the show there. We got a place to do the show. We did the show there. Somebody like, I'm getting a tattoo. You get a tattoo.
Yeah.
That's kind of dope though.
That's what I was saying before the podcast
Yeah.
about
That's how it starts. Because look at it.
Yeah.
But the interviews were horrible. Like I didn't think we thought we were great then. Like we just like we'll we'll see somebody get a tattoo and just start ripping them. Like now we'd be on the rail like,
Oh my God.
Man, they were real dirty with it. Like you ain't shit. You fat. Get them dirty ass feet up. I mean, we would just rip on people. That's what we did.
So what was the name of the show?
It was called 950 Lounge.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. It was called Pryor's Place then.
Okay.
Now, Pryor, my last name is Pryor in Pryor's Place. We did that for about a year. Now, I knew something was coming with this thing. I got an email from 20th Century Fox. Now, if you remember, Richard Pryor had a kids show that
Yeah, I
was
remember.
called Pryor's Place.
Right.
So I was like, wait, this is my last name. He said, you can't use Pryor's Place because it's this little bullshit internet show. Are you serious?
They
I
got
said,
copyright to the
you
motherfucker.
can't use it. So when my brother got real defiant. Fuck you mean we can't use it? I laughed. This is a good thing. This is a sign because if they can check our little and we were horrible.
They
like,
heard about you.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's just like Eazy said.
Yeah.
All advertising is good advertising. All
Right.
publicity rather.
So through the years, working at Samoose and stuff, I did a little consulting called 950 Management. I grew up at 950 East 123rd Street.
Okay.
So my father, who owned the bar and sold cars, would always play the number 950. So when 950 hit, when that number hit, that means some nice sneakers or some steak,
Right.
whatever, maybe a vacation, maybe to the movies. So 950, that number always meant something. So when I did the little PR thing on the side, and we started to say the show, we take 950 Lounge. 950 meant like that's a gateway. Good things happen with that number. It's a birthplace. We grew up at 950, and Lounge is like, well, you know what? You come to the house or you come talk to us. It's always a comfortable setting.
Right.
So 950 Lounge kind of meshed. So I'm kind of glad that happened because I think 950 Lounge sounds much better than Pryor's Place, personally. So 2013, we're with Mike G in Mount Vernon, and we're starting to pick up some momentum. I mean, we're starting to do some nice shows. It's getting a little better. We were doing it at the tattoo place, then we moved it to his house. I don't know what happened, and to this day, I don't know how we got off on something happened. He put something on Facebook about like
Social media.
some
Right, right.
dudes are taking advantage. Like we the only ones doing the show at the house, so I'm like,
It was
okay.
a sub at you.
And he didn't use my name,
Oh.
but I'm like, wait a minute, me and Roddy are the only ones working at your house. So he was like, well, people who do shows at my house gotta charge them money. Like, well, wait a minute, who else is if it's about me, then just say it,
Right.
Or talk
So
to me.
as men, let's just say it. So you know what? Screw that. So I told my brother, nah, we moving out of this anyway because he too reckless. Good dude, even though we ain't working together, but he's a good dude. But he's just too reckless. So we gonna move this thing out of here anyway. So that's when I met
Was
GWR.
y'all getting paid though?
It was our efforts. We had no money. We was on the net. We was paying the network. We was paying WRN to do the
play
show.
it.
We
Oh,
had no
okay.
advertising there. And it was at that time. If somebody came to me with another option, I'd have been done. We just like, you know what? Pack this thing up. We going. I don't know how many times in 2013, 2012, 2013, I wanted to stop. It was to a point I didn't even enjoy doing the show because taking it back, when we was at the nail place, at the tattoo parlor, we would do the show at night.
Right.
And we had no time. We just keep talking, because we was on Radio Loyalty. It's a link. You just keep the link on. Somebody listens to you, great. Somebody don't, you just talking to yourself. So we would go on like sometimes 4 or 5 hours, and to the point like I don't want to do this no more. Like
How long did it take you to get that point?
Get what point?
I feel like quitting.
It's. I can give you one example that hit the boiling point. We came up with the idea, and we've enhanced this as we move on. We came up with the idea to bring a model in, just to kind of get this model. And
so you were the first one to do the Instagram model.
well,
thing
we were just trying to get some people to listen, right? Now we didn't have the video cameras, and it was just all audio. But we figured like. Somebody might want to hear this.
You got a model on
audio.
How are we supposed to see that?
So we was using Facebook to say, hey, we got this girl coming. So we took a couple dollars. She's from Connecticut. She's from like Hartford. So we brought her down. She took one of them vans. I know they had vans that go. Yeah, took the van down, and we put her up at the, in a little. My man had a hookup at a hotel in the city. So nice hotel. People like rewards points. But she came to the show. So he was big on the Bagal, drinking the Bagal.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all.
And she starts drinking Bagal, and she gets fucked up. So we had this rapper come in, right? So he brought a good dude. I won't mention his name because he'd probably be embarrassed. So he had a couple dudes with him. And one of his boys said to the model, oh, you ain't fucking my man tonight? And she gets crazy. Now, obviously, somebody...
That sound like crazy.
She has some friends listening from Hartford, some pretty tough individuals. So they call up. We had a phone and, a cell phone. They call up. We had a Skype line, excuse me. They call up and like, yo, we coming down there. And I'm like, what just happened? And, she's ready to fight.
Like the model's ready to fight the guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the guy and her people are calling from Connecticut and gang related.
This is live.
Yeah,
so
right.
They hear it immediately and they just ready
So
for action.
to answer your question, I said I don't need to do this. I'm too old. I did a Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit.
Right.
So after that, I was like, I'm done. But it was a lot of times I wanted to just pull out, because we would spend a lot of money and nothing was coming in. And it wasn't so much spending the money. It was just that I didn't see any. The tunnel was dark.
Okay.
And that 2013, what the changing point was, during my time at Samusa and do the advertising game, I did some work for Vivid, the adult company. They used to have
I know Vivid.
They had a vodka.
I know vividly.
Nah, it's a star.
Right.
They had a vodka on the West Coast. If you ever been to Vegas, they have a Vivid vodka. It's not sold here, but it was big on the coast.
Okay.
And I was just chatting on Twitter. It wasn't even Instagram time, it was Twitter. And I was just chatting with one of the people that I worked with the campaign with. And she's like, oh yeah, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing this little radio show, trying to make it sound as bigger than it was. And she said, well, would you want to interview Cara Mia? Now, for those who don't know Cara Mia, she's an adult actress. But at the time, she did the Kardashian parody that she was on TMZ and everything. So she said, yeah, I'll have her call in. So she calls in. Now, Radio Loyalty and Live 365 only hold up to about maybe 300 people, maybe even less than that. So she calls on a Saturday. We do the calling at the house, at my man's house in Mount Vernon. We're doing it, and the circuit shuts down because obviously it's too many people.
Yeah, that's dope though.
So I go, oh wow, I think we hit
You
something.
broke the internet,
right?
Yes,
You broke the. Yeah.
So when we, obviously,
something.
even though we had the falling out. Before that, I said, yo, we gonna have to move out. We want to move out of here. Now he didn't want to spend money. Me and my brother before it, because we saw that. And obviously my brother trusts me, like, yo, I think we got something here and we can really do something. I don't think we're just spinning our wheels anymore. So when that situation with the DJ happened, he put on Facebook and stuff, and obviously through this process, we knew it was time to go.
Right.
We were still on WRN, but then we had a falling out with him because the DJ had a falling out with the station in PA. And since we were doing the show in Mount Vernon,
right.
I had to go where my bread was buttered. And I told the guy that, listen, well, at the time, I'm out of business if I don't have this guy. And I felt like, you know what, I never want to be in a situation where I'm held hostage. So then the DSN opportunity opened up. somebody told me, yo, you ought to talk to DWI. I said, who the hell is DWI? Driving while intoxicated? I didn't know who that was. So they said, no, you know, do the studio. And I said, I think I know that brother. I know when I met him, I knew his face because, you know, we grew up in the same area. We knew all, pretty much everybody. It's amazing how we didn't know each other, but we knew all the same people. So he was like, yo, you know, bring the show here. We couldn't do it on Saturdays. Saturdays was full. So I was like,
So
well,
what was your day? Because your day is Saturdays now.
Right, it
What
was
your
Sundays
day?
at noon.
Ooh.
But because I'm thinking like, well, I don't want to do a Sunday show. I'm thinking like, you know, coming from a Christian household, my mom, ain't nobody gonna listen to us on Sunday. At that time, I said, nah, we'll tape it Sunday, but we'll play it Tuesday night.
Right.
So I go, maybe we can go after that West Coast audience.
Okay.
Even though we left the house in Mount Vernon, the guy, he had an issue with WR, he started his own network. So then we were playing on there. Even though we and him weren't seeing eye to eye, we agreed, okay, I'm gonna still play your show.
Right.
Now, we would play the show 3 o'clock on Tuesday at DSN. And he would, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. We would do the show on Sunday, Sunday afternoon.
Recorded.
Recorded.
And they'll play it.
The Mount Vernon show would play it Monday. I figured I'd give him the show first. He'll play it Mondays at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then DSN would play it Tuesdays at 11:30 at night.
Okay.
Now, it things happen. Like, you at the studio now, things happen. Sometimes shows don't play.
Right.
But with the guy in Mount Vernon with his little network, it seemed like every time, for 3 straight weeks, every time 950 was supposed to play, the circuits blow up. Oh,
Really?
son, 2:30, the internet went down at 4:45 at Marac. 3 straight weeks. So I said, all right, this ain't working.
Right.
The DSN thing, even though we were recording there, it just wasn't. You see the sunlight from Sunday afternoon coming through the window, and
Feel like church.
and you're playing the show at night, and then you know he had people at the time was falling asleep. They weren't running the circuits. It was a mess. So I just told at the time Backstage was with us. I said, let's just do a Sunday afternoon live, whatever. And we started doing the show live, and then we started growing. You know, even though I felt like I was comfortable behind the mic, you know, and my brother at the time, another girl we had, you still have to build a chemistry.
Right.
You know, it takes time. Well, you know, you could be friends and family all your life. You get behind a mic, everybody wants to get theirs off.
Right.
And in every media or radio or television setup, there's always got to be a lead. Somebody's got to be the person, the guy or girl that says, okay, you know, I'm going to lead. You can all share the responsibility, but somebody's got to take the final shot. And that's what I was doing. And I was doing that, and my brother was cool with it. Ed was cool. Backstage was cool with it, but the young other girl wasn't.
This is Simone?
This wasn't Simone. Simone wasn't with us then.
Oh, okay.
This was the girl. Her name was Cece.
Oh,
I
okay.
shouldn't have said that, but I said it too bad.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
CC.
yeah.
Let him
You
shoot,
know,
CC.
We still cool, but she felt like, you know what, she wasn't getting enough. And when she came in, we had to let her know, hey, listen, you're going to be the third option. You know, but she couldn't deal with
But
that.
y'all wasn't getting paid to do this. Y'all was still coming out of
We were
pocket.
still coming out of
And
pocket.
she still wanted her to get off?
Yeah, we were still coming out of pocket. And again, we didn't start getting advertising until we went to DSN. That was 2014. We didn't start getting advertised for 2014 January. We didn't start getting advertised until like maybe mid-June, July. And it still wasn't enough to pay the whole nut.
Right.
That didn't happen until 2015 when I met some guys from Follow Enterprises. I went to an event at what's that, Hudson River Cafe? They had a music showcase. A friend of mine who was a PR person was doing some promotion work for these guys. So why don't you come? All right, I went to the event and you know, met these guys. They were cool. You know, Latin dudes all suited up, like real clean. Who are these dudes? What business is this?
Right.
So to met them in the summer of 2014. In 2015, I don't even know I must have gave him a card. Get a phone call. I don't remember ever really giving him my number, but maybe I gave him a card. And go, oh yeah, you know, 950 Kev, how you doing? We want to meet up with you for take you to dinner. I'm like, for what? Like I didn't see the correlation.
Right.
So we go to dinner. We go to a steakhouse, and they say, hey, listen, we want to work with you on advertising because, you know, we watch your show and we think it's a good fit. At the time, we already had Heather, and you know, we had Mr. Marcus that year.
Heather B.
No, Heather Hunter.
Heather Hunter.
Yeah.
That
I know
just made
her.
it better. Look,
Yeah,
look, look.
yeah. Got you spruced up.
I know her.
We had Mr. Moore, so we had started to get some names, and they were like, "Yo, we want to take our artist and put on your show." I'm like, "Well, we
Which is
have
rap artist they have?
rap,
Oh, okay.
Latin
Porn
artists.
artists.
Now none of
Porn
us speak any Spanish, but they
No,
want to
no,
bring
I'm
Latin
just
artists.
saying.
Heather Hunter's a porn
No, I
artist.
know. I'm just saying that the Spanish ones
guy.
wanted to have his
Mr.
art.
Market.
I said, well, at the time we didn't catch one a couple dollars. Okay, you're gonna you're gonna underwrite the show. Fine, let's do it. So then we started doing that in 2015. That happened the first week in April in 2015. So the full year we good. Still with CC, we're making it through. Now we got our first sponsor. Now we start getting other little sponsors, and now we're building. I worked the thing out with WRNs, and we're kind of back with So they're simulcast
And
on the set.
that's recent.
That was 2015.
Oh, no, but you're still with these people
I'm
now.
still with them now,
Okay.
but now we're on a whole nother level. But we matched that since I ain't working with that person no more. Now we're doing this. So, that's growing, and they're bringing artists. Some are good, some are bad, but they're paying us.
Who tell them that they're bad?
Nobody would tell them that they
This is the
bad.
thing. I always said this. They need one guy to be like, listen, stop rapping, sit down.
But they weren't all rappers. Some were singers that couldn't sing. Some were merengue artists that could merengue.
Stop merengue. Sit down.
I like
So-
my thing was, as long as you keep that check coming, I'm all right.
What is the checks looking like when you getting these sponsors?
If you don't mind.
Right.
It depends on
But
the
your
sponsor.
first, let's say your first check, like when you first get into it, and boom, you got a sponsor, because that's what we're looking for. And a lot of times when you hit sponsor, you automatically say, I'm taking my family out the hood with this. I'm chilling.
Well,
You
that
still got vivid number?
I still haven't I haven't found that sponsor yet. But no, I mean it depends on the opportunity. I think what people look at, they try to go for that home run. Right. And then you got
Right.
Angels jersey on, so I can talk baseball reference.
Not really.
Now-
I'm not really.
I
I play stick ball. I
Boy,
did right.
swap meet,
It's a
huh?
fashion
He'll
style.
know a baseball from a handball.
But it's important to try to just get smaller deals.
Mhm.
I mean, if Procter and Gamble or McDonald's or whatever come at your way, then you can you got the beans
Yeah,
and rice,
you
the
can
steak
create
with the beans and rice, and you can do different things. But on our level or independent level, those are not coming out the chute. So you're gonna have to really put yourself out there. And I always tell people, in the interest of knowing who to go after, is just take your ages. Like say somebody, I'm not picking no ages here, but let's say you guys are 30. So I always say you go. Oh, cool. There it works.
There you go, right.
I
There
work
you go,
with that.
right.
You go
Maybe.
5 down and 10 up. So that means if you're 30, your audience is 25 to 40. You don't know, but again, you have interest as a man or
Right.
a woman.
Right.
So those are probably the interests of people who want to hear what you have to say. You depend on what type of businesses you like. Let's say you like comic books.
Okay.
Right? So maybe you go out to DC Comics. Maybe you like cars. Let's go out to car dealership. You
Vivid.
like to do roofs.
Vivid.
Vivid, okay.
He likes
Then you
porn.
go out to porn. Listen, those are low hanging fruit for sure.
I know
Hey.
how it is. I'm a low hanging
low-key
fruit
right.
myself.
So again, you start to take a media kit or PDF, very simple, nothing crazy, 3 to 4 pages. Talk about the individual, mention about the show, put your demographic in, and just blast it out.
You have one?
Yeah, I gave one.
But how do we know who to send it
Well, good question.
to? Right.
Yeah, you have a nice Apple laptop. I have one of those as well. You have social media. Just go to one thing. Really, you go to Twitter. Just pop in real estate brokers and get a list of brokers. Or go to Google and independent record labels or independent artists, and just kind of blast it out based on things you like. You want to work with. You might have an interest in. I mean, in the media business, you might have an interest in media. Obviously, you do. Just go after those opportunities. Make it as simple for yourself in the beginning.
So what made you go after the porn? Because you said you had Heather Hunter,
Yeah. You still got
Mr.
enough.
Marcus. Well, you just thought about them because you.
I
said they
thought
would bring
about
some
them.
hits?
I thought about them from the hits perspective. Now, before that, we started bringing in the strippers. Because you go to social media and they got 800,000,
Right.
2 million followers. So I'm like, nobody. And so if you don't want to hear me, man, you just come check out for this.
Yeah.
But we would flip the script. We're not going to talk to you about the normal, stuff. We want to make people know you got a brain.
That's good. That's a good
We
thing.
brought Becca Banks on. I don't know if you know Becca Banks. He's okay. He know all of them. And we brought Becca Banks on, and we completely flipped the script on the interview. It was more like everybody knows what you look like. Nobody probably knows your voice. They don't even give a fuck.
Right.
But we're gonna bring a situation where people actually know, like, hey, this woman has a sensibility,
And that
some
makes
smarts. Yeah.
and that makes the people person on there feel comfortable because like she expecting you to ask her to pull her titties out.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not the case.
Right.
I may be thinking that, but I'm gonna let her live.
All right, well, let me piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So, what's one thing that people don't know about you that's not around media consultant world and business and everything? What's one thing that you would tell people that nobody would guess about you?
I'm a beach bum.
Ah,
When
really?
if I can retire by some water and a beach, I'm good. When I go on vacation, I don't care about turning up. I just want to turn down.
Hey.
You give me some good food.
Yeah, I don't see the point in turning up at a vacation. I swear.
Well, there was a time in my life where I had to go on vacation and take 3 days off from back after
Right, to
vacation.
recover.
But I just love going to the beach.
Yeah.
It's tranquil. It calms me down. Something about the water, and that's probably something that you would never expect from a bald-headed black man.
Yeah, I went to the beach last week. I'm telling you, it was
Not
Coney Island.
bald-headed.
No, but I'm saying it's the water.
Yeah.
I stood there like
Why you
my
ain't
feet
go
get
to
wet.
Orchard?
I don't,
That's
my
closer.
sisters live in Brooklyn. They wanted to go to
Both of them
Coney
live
Island.
there?
No, listen,
Oh,
forget
I'm sorry.
that.
I'm sorry.
Went
Orchard's
to
not
Coney
bad,
Island and just standing in the water. I just stood there and prayed, like just letting the water like hit my feet and stuff.
See,
like
I
that.
don't
It was
get
so
in the
calm.
water
She didn't
in
want
New
a
York.
dirty diaper to come out the water. With a dirty diaper on that head. That's
No, please, let the water no needles
I
come
can't
in.
swim. That's why I didn't go past that
Not most
line.
black people.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
I was like,
can't
oh,
go-
this is safe. All right,
You
Cass.
can't go
All
on a
right,
boat.
right.
I won't go in the water though in New York. Maybe when I'm out of town.
Yeah,
but
just my feet.
So your retirement is a beach home.
that would be ideal. Yeah.
What's the best beach you've ever been to?
Waikiki.
Ooh.
He said Waikiki. What is that like?
Hawaii.
Yeah, look like Long Island some
He
days.
just goes to-
Hawaii.
I'm
Went to the luau and
I'm
everything.
neighborhood.
Yeah, Watch the volcanoes, the whole bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got 950 Lounge going.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know you got 950 Network. Is it here or is it still on its way?
No, it's here. It's in soft production now. But the answer to that question, the guys from Falu, that's why I wanted to bring them up because
Okay.
when they were working with us,
Falu is who?
Falu Enterprise, the first underwriter we had on the
Okay.
show on 950
Okay.
Lounge. They
Underwriters-
left. They
underwriters do what?
The underwriter is somebody that pays for advertising.
Those are the Spanish guys with the
Yeah,
suits.
exactly.
Spanish
So
rep.
that was yeah. They probably won't like that, but they had that look about them with me. So then that was 2015, and in 2015 they decided they didn't want to advertise with us no more. Cool, we were still cool. I
Right.
didn't think it was gonna be long. They came back to me in 2016, end of 2016, 2017. I thought it was just a Happy New Year call. It was like, oh, we starting this pay-per-view thing. It was dumb. So they said, we want to help. We want to talk to you about advertising. You being a consultant with us.
Right.
So I go again. We go somewhere to eat again. I love to eat.
Right.
And we
Like
go
all
sit
the
down
beans
and we
rice and
yeah,
chicken.
yeah, exactly, yeah, something like that. And they show me this whole process. Like, wow, this is gonna be great. I said, well, nah, I don't want to I don't mind advertising, working with you guys, but I want a
Steak.
franchise.
Oh, you doing LeVar Ball now?
Well, so I guess.
I don't want the sneaker.
Right.
I want this
I want
as
the
well.
brand.
Right,
Right.
gotcha.
So they like, well, I'm like, no disrespect, but you guys have a great niche.
That's
You have
for sure.
great Latin niche to, who you're going after, but you're not reaching out to that urban audience.
Right.
And I can help you with that. And I said, you still own McDonald's. I just want the shop on Gun Hill Road. I just
Right.
want the one store.
Right.
Yeah.
So they thought about it, and then they said, we'll do it. So we had an event at Milk River in April,
Okay.
and we launched it, 950 Network, which is obviously under their Fame Watch brand.
Oh,
And-
so it's like Def Jam, Rockefeller.
Right, yeah,
Rough
we're
Riders,
under right. So
all-
you would
okay.
still go to the Fame Watch site and then find the tag of 950 Network.
Okay.
And it's designed to be really old school BET. Like
was missed that.
Creative.
before
Teen
Viacom
Right.
sort
Steven's
of
World.
Right.
Yeah.
The
geared
basement.
toward that
Okay.
that urban professional. Because you look at our group, you look at 30 and up. There's really nothing for us no more. The music, and all the music is young.
Sorry.
The stations are young. The TV, there's no, everything is reality.
Right.
Right. So there's no cluster that fits that 30 to 45, 30 to 50, unless you just you wearing your pants off your ass and just real ratchet.
Now let me ask you, do you have a studio for your network?
It's gonna be all virtual.
Okay.
Maybe eventually down the road we might do
So
that.
right now you're just
It's just
taping
virtual.
And how many shows you got on your network?
Well, right now we have 4. We have wrestling. We got I call that a show, BCW Wrestling.
Okay.
We have
That's cool.
your girl's coming aboard. It's got a Chella.
Okay.
And
She went to one I went to school with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lovely story. But she's looking to do some stuff, and then we have a talk show out of PA, a sex therapist,
Is it light skin?
Angela Lopez.
What you mean? I ain't gonna. I got excited. 6:30.
No, 'cause I
Every nigga
listened
hope
to
he have
another
sex with her.
podcast, and it was a sex therapist
Mhm.
on there, talking. So I'm like, I learned different things about rape culture.
Mhm.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, like
There's a culture for
no,
rape.
it's like, it's called rape culture. Like certain things you do.
Mhm.
When you getting raped.
No,
No.
before that, like
I think what
no,
screams.
some of the
What the
things
fuck
we
you
do
gonna do?
is just crazy. Like it could be rape culture, without actually you not actually knowing what you're doing. Like trying to talk to a girl, she's telling you, "Okay, thank you, I look good, thank
And
you."
that's rape.
Right.
No, if you continue to do it, it's like a part
I
of
call
it.
that ambition.
It's
That's part of what Amber Rose is speaking about too.
What?
That's
She's
part-
talking about niggas trying to holler.
About knowing when to say no because
when
it's
give up and
accept no.
say, yeah. Like,
Accepting no.
if you tell a
from
girl, yo, you
female,
look good,
yeah.
shorty, alright, cool. But remember back in the day, yo, fuck you then.
That's still back in the day.
That's
That's
not
still
That's still
current.
today, right?
They still say, yo, fuck you
Yeah,
then,
that's what
shorty.
you
I ain't
said,
holler at a
bitch.
girl.
Fuck you. You ain't look that good anyway. Stuck
That's
up
what
hoe.
they told you?
Listen.
Wow.
Listen.
Yeah, son,
All
that's
I'm
what
trying
they
to tell him is I'm married. Thank you.
Yo,
That's
fuck
it.
you then, bitch.
Hey.
That was a lie.
Hey.
Don't see over here. Don't come to my block no more. Bimbo.
But that's part of rape culture.
I didn't know that.
rape
Yeah.
You can
It's
get
part of
arrested.
No,
the
it's
culture.
it's cool. It's just it's a.
You
I don't
liable
know-
to get shot.
I don't know how to explain it, but I know what you mean. So
I think it's sensitivity, man. People not sensitive no more.
Yeah.
I mean, too sensitive.
yeah.
You could
Yeah.
deal with that in the 90s, early 2000s.
Cause
I
girls
know
like-
girls did that every day.
They just
Got
keep on
cursed
walking.
out every day.
But what about the girl who couldn't take it?
She didn't walk through the block.
She's
She took
not
the
alright.
pop
That's
off.
why there's a such thing as rape culture.
No,
That's why
it
they
was somebody that just kept.
That's a strong word
So-
for it.
And that's
Let me ask you
yeah.
something. No, but that's what it is. It sounds
Rape
like the
culture.
first thing you hear is rape.
And you like, oh
You
my
like,
god,
oh,
that's
no.
heinous.
Then you like, damn, did I rape?
I ain't
like,
trying to go
you
to
know?
jail.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, sure look good, but shit, I ain't going to jail for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shit. You know what?
So-
you have a good night, sweetheart.
Right. That's
God
better
bless
than-
you.
Take care,
And I ain't
boo-boo.
gonna say no more to her either.
And then she like, all right, nigga, all right. You know, it'd be like
Let's take
that.
that.
But
Let's take
on your
that.
network, how do you, what shows do you like? I could use this. Or what are you looking for when you're looking for a show? I should say.
I'm just looking for looking for quality content. Like when somebody says, like what's going on here tonight, like you guys, it's quality content.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Listen,
Well,
I don't have no lawyers yet.
That's
That-
okay.
We could talk. You know, you might take you to
Listen,
sweet mamas down the block.
I've
talk about this networking
I've already
thing.
talked on your various projects
Right.
about, but it's just about having quality content. Somebody who's really a group of people or a person looking who's really serious about their craft.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be. Again, we're starting out. I
Right.
mean, we're not. You know, like I was talking to I don't know if you know Shawnee Dixon. She's a celebrity chef, and
I'll Google her later when I
yeah.
go.
She ain't do porn, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope not. But I don't want to see that.
I don't know
But-
that either.
But like you know, I was talking to her legal team was like, we're not in a position to shot call. My theory is like, look, if it's pay-per-view and you're making some money off it, and it's working for you, you're not going to change it.
Right.
At this stage of the game, we can be ultra aggressive and ultra creative in how we bring new talent to the table. Again, I think what YouTube has done is create a culture that, you know, that's all we think about. We have a bunch of people who are great artists, great designers, great producers, and they don't make any money off this stuff. You know, they'll put a great web series out. Everybody wants to be money and violence. The only ones that's made. You mean tell me that's the only quality thing on the internet on YouTube?
Respect life. I think you
Right.
should look at that.
1, 2, 4.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
1, 2, 4. I know that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yaya, she used to be down with 950 on
Okay.
some stuff.
Oh,
She's
word?
good people. Yeah, Sharice. But my theory is like we're so used to artists. We're so used to just creating projects and not making any profit.
Right.
And it's become a mindset like you just no, I'm not gonna make any money
But
off this.
I heard in New York that's a big thing.
Mhm.
You know, with the mixtape thing. Like let's say with the mixtape world. What's it got? Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
Mhm.
West Coast artists. A lot of them, they selling everything.
Yeah.
He sold his mixtape for $100,
Mm-hmm.
and people look at him like, yo, he's crazy.
No, he
But
knows his work.
At the end, he was like, no, he knew what he was worth.
Mhm.
Emery from Rock Nation, like, all right, send me 10,000 of those, and that's how he, you know.
Same
make
stuff
money
with
off that.
Master P. I mean,
Yeah.
Master P was selling out to Trump. I mean,
Trump.
again, the entrepreneurial spirit is there, but somewhere on the line, this generation doesn't know about that hard work. I just put it on YouTube, and I'm not gonna make any money off it, but
Hopefully the views are getting and then the
yeah,
money will
or
come
maybe
in.
somebody put me on a reality show. So again, that mentality is off. So by creating a 950 network, it's an opportunity to say, you know, you can still do what you do, even if you put it on YouTube. Like somebody told me the other day, well, you're not YouTube. You're right, we're not. We're actually gonna pay you. You're actually gonna you still gotta advertise it on YouTube. You still gotta promote it. We're just gonna give you an opportunity when somebody finds it.
Somebody told you that?
Somebody told me that, yeah. They said, well, you're not YouTube. You're right, we're not. I'm not trying to be YouTube.
Wait, did you offer somebody a spot on your network and they said you're not
We
YouTube?
were talking to a web series. I won't mention the web series.
Uh-huh.
And the guy was like, well, you know, y'all not YouTube. And I said, you're right. But that's because a lot of us are not, we don't think. Not to make this racial, but, you know, it seems like, okay, because you perceive YouTube to be so great because it's run by, you know, a white organization or
Right.
you know, a professional organization.
mentality.
Slave mentality.
House nigga.
Or here comes somebody. Well, what type of? And the guy said, well, what type of hits you followers you got? We don't. It's new. I just told you that. I'm not hiding anything.
Right.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying that if you're going to advertise and promote your brand, you can still use YouTube for the for the clips and trailers. But if you're going to have people buy it, why not have them buy it? You could go YouTube Red and spend $800 to $1,000. I think that is something like that, and you still won't make. You'll still make pennies. I'm giving you an opportunity for a third of that, and put all your content up right now. So that mentality, you're right, is like we're poisoned. We're running it on. We're the mouse running on the little
web.
bite, and we don't know how to get off.
Yeah.
You know, and then somebody
doing it
tells
for
you,
fun.
right? Exactly. And
These dudes are eating the cheese. While we
it's
just
chess,
fucking
not
running.
checkers, and that's the problem. We're doing these things, and people don't see where I can earn. Like, you know, even where we're at the network, there's people doing shows, and they're just doing it just for hits, or
Right.
you know, maybe to get the chick at the club,
The
or
attention.
the photo op. They don't care about the business. I tell people all the time, the celebrities don't. You don't want to talk to celebrities. You want to talk to the business people behind
Right.
the celebrity. Celebrity don't know. We wake up in the morning. He got to be told to brush his teeth. They don't know. You know, it's the people behind the scenes that are making things happen.
Right.
So when your network, you still doing 950 Lounge on your network?
We're gonna 950 because it's a radio portal, and it's always been a radio portal. We'll put clips of 950 on the network. Obviously, it makes sense to do that, but it'll be a free content offering. I don't want it to really be about 950 on the network.
No, I know. I just know you have your. I know you started. I want to say you started with radio,
Mhm.
and you have your show now.
That's
You
your
got your
baby.
network.
Right.
Are you still gonna focus on 950 Lounge every Saturday? How you do? And put it on your network.
Yes.
And still, are you gonna be Puff Daddy still making the album?
On the video.
Yeah, it's not even that, but just you bad boy. You know you still signing artists.
Right.
You still making your album. You still all right. doing
Well,
that.
950 to me is that's the core.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's some things happening I really can't get in the conversation with, but the hope is that by next year, 950 can be a everyday show on a network. There's some things happening that I can fill you guys in later on, and hopefully to bring a No Disrespect and a American Dream along for that ride.
Okay.
That's
But
dope.
the
Well,
950 Lounge thing is the core. The network piece to me kind of takes care of itself. And I was telling this to my brother, like, you know, we're doing some stuff with some different groups on, like, with the network being the focal point. We're getting ready to bring D. Train Williams to a live event through pay-per-view.
Okay.
Talking to Professor Griff about bringing in Soleil
Right.
for pay-per-view. So these are things these are plug-and-play things that are 10 times bigger than me. So I just kind of want to sit back. Bobby Simmons, me and Bobby have talked from Sets of Sonic. Actually, it's some things happening with Bobby that I really can't even get into now.
That's the show. He was on the show.
Yeah.
Did you go
That-
back in the days?
Right, the Bobby Simmons show, right?
The
Yes.
Bison girl. Video
Yeah,
show?
and he's got the show. He's got a show back now on FRP, which he gets a lot of hits on. So it's things happening that the network will take care of itself. The show is a passion, and it will always be radio because I think it's a radio show. Matter of fact, somebody reached out to me recently about why don't you bring it on, make it a TV show. I'm like, well, obviously commerce always plays a role, but I really think it's just a radio show. I think it just has that radio appeal. But again, the future's bright, and it's not about just me, because like I tell people all the time, it's just one show. To really create and make a change is to kind of be a piper and lead and bring other people along for the ride, because there's all different type of views and listens. And we've talked about that at DSN, about helping him and helping that network kind of achieve that next level of professionalism. Because the ingredients are all there. We just got to bake the cake.
Right.
Baby cake, I like
Piggyback
that.
on what you said earlier about somebody saying it's not YouTube.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they told Facebook, you ain't MySpace.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Look
much
at
how
them
it
now.
went. Yeah.
Funny story that
Yeah.
when you think about that, I think about it was about 20 years ago. Netflix walked into Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And tore off a meeting, and Blockbuster laughed Netflix out.
Yeah. You look
Nah.
at Netflix now, it's like, where you at?
Yeah.
Right.
I can't find one
The
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster guy probably working for Netflix.
I know
Right.
the Blockbuster is a supermarket from in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hey, what did they
This
do
is
on
long
125th?
They're all out of
Yeah,
business.
it's
They,
like
they,
a-
went,
Is it empty now?
they went belly up.
Oh, it's
This is
Blockbuster
long.
H&M.
No, it's just like over there. It's
Yeah,
like
what is it?
H&M.
Golden Crust.
No,
No, it's like
Golden Crust?
No, it's not Golden Crust.
No,
it's
so-
GNC.
Oh man.
Right.
It's GNC.
I remember
That's
one-
where Blockbuster used to be.
Blockbuster had the best snacks though for movies. I swear to God, I
Two
ain't gonna get a
$5.
movie.
We didn't know any better. We thought that was like the end all be all.
The juju beads and
Yeah, you
raising
get all
that.
the movie snacks there.
Yeah.
The gummy worm, the sour one.
The super size pack though, not even the regular.
Yeah, yeah. Can't
See that, but that's dope because you had that. You always, without doing it, without saying this is what you want to do, it was like falling in
It
your
kind of
lap
found.
and
We
then
kind of found
fell
each other.
into
Yes.
place.
Yeah. It
with
really
your whole
did.
story.
It really just kind of found each other because sometimes I sit back and go, damn, I really can't. It's really kind of humbling that people actually want to listen to our show. 'Cause
Right. Well, you got good stuff because
I appreciate
I tune in on Saturdays when you go live. I know you see my name because I be listening. If I'm not running around making breakfast for Trey or with the dog, I'm listening so I can see what's what. And then when you call in to get your point of view, I be like, all right. And then sometimes I know your point of view calms mine down because sometimes I may be a little raw like now. Fuck all that. This is how I'm feeling.
Right.
I'm going to say it.
Right.
But then when you call in, you be like, well, Trev, look. Da 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 da. And this. Then I say, you know what, Kev, you right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, boom. I see your point too. Sometimes I go in, I be on the train focused. This is
Right.
what I'm going to say today. I
Right.
got it.
Right.
And then when you call, it be like, let me hear what you got to say.
See, what I try to bring to whether it's my show or I call on your show, I try to bring. We all know the obvious. Like we see this is a card, right? We see the card black, is that the logo on it. I try to find the game within the game. Like what's important on this card? No disrespect, where you can find it at. What networks is on, the social media tags. So it's always something you can go in deeper. And my opinion is if I take you to that next level, that next layer of cake, like we always see the frosting, but what's under the frosting? Is it pineapple? Is it strawberry?
Cherries.
Right, cherry, whatever. If I can get you to that layer, that means I'm giving you something that you won't get anywhere else.
Substance.
You won't get right. Thank you. You won't get it on the Breakfast Club. You won't get it on MTV. You won't get it anywhere because we're talking about that. We all see the top, but many of us don't talk about the bottom or the middle.
Are you chasing a dollar when you do this network, or are you still chasing your dream, or is this your dream? Because, like you said,
Right.
you did football, and
Right.
you did it. Is this your dream to be on radio and have this network?
It's never been about money for me, which I think obviously we all need money
Right,
to
right.
survive. But that's never been the lead pony in the race. I think it's about the journey. It's about the enjoyment. Like I tell my team all the time, like, how cool would this be when we sit back one day and go, wow, remember this journey?
Right.
Like, you're a married woman. When you met your husband, the courting period. What led to that? And I think every business or any foundation has to have a journey. If you just went from 0 to 100, you wouldn't appreciate it. I wouldn't appreciate this 20 years ago when I was at Sears, or I wouldn't appreciate this when I was at Samosa. even a couple years ago, I couldn't even appreciate what I'm doing now. When we were in the house in Mount Vernon or the tattoo parlor.
Right.
It's because of the journey and the work you put in that you can say, you know what, I've earned this. Now I don't begrudge people who go from first to third, like a Donald Trump or something like that, or grew up with that. But there's no way they can respect and
The
understand
hustle.
the hustle because
Right.
they've never had to do that.
Oh, you
That's why you see
understand
people.
the failure.
Right. That's why you see some of these people when their 401k or their taxes, their portfolios drop, they jumping off of roofs because they don't know what it is to create it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
Exactly.
survival skills.
Right.
What happened when it all falls apart?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like obviously we're growing, we're pushing our brand, but if it ended tomorrow, it was a great ride.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it from a standpoint of course. I've met people that I've watched on TV. I don't say know something about friends, but we become associates, and we have something to offer. And if tomorrow was like, you know what, it's over and it's time to do something else, then it was a great run, and we changed. We made something.
So you don't have no plan. I don't even say you had a plan A or a plan B.
Mhm.
Do you have a plan outside of you getting this network falling into your lap? You know,
Right.
just because of
Right.
the relationship you had prior,
Right.
and now you have a network. Coming from the ghetto,
Mm-hmm.
we want stuff like that. We like, oh yeah, I want to be
Right.
Oprah. I want to be.
Right.
No, I'm just saying. Some
No.
people
We
want
want
that.
the money.
Right, but
we
yeah,
don't
but
want the work.
Right.
no, right. But
Right.
when people see,
I
you
never
see
heard
the
anybody say I want a network.
right, and I'm saying like
That's a
now
vision.
you have
Mm.
you got Puff with Revolt.
Right.
Now you got Kevin with
Right.
950 Lounge Network.
Mhm.
That word network is a big thing. It's
It's
not
a
just
big thing.
going.
Yeah, more than
It's
one
not
meeting,
just
more
going to
than one
happy
meeting.
hour on
That's how big it
Thursdays
is.
after
Right.
work
Right.
to network and be
Right.
like, "What you doing this weekend?" or "Can I get a raise?"
Right.
It's different. Like you're really putting people on.
You got to embrace it. It's not easy, and especially in the infancy when you really work and you're trying to, make miracles on $1.99.
Right.
You know, it's not to that point yet. But Puffy or a Bob John, they got billions. You know,
Yeah.
they can throw money at a situation.
Yeah.
You throw money on anything, you're going to make it work. Putting up people on the job is going to work. At our point right now, we're just being creative, and it's almost a YouTube model. When YouTube came out 15 years ago, YouTube was people laugh. I can record stuff
and just put it
and
up.
just put it up there. You know, I can belt. Oh, I'm record it.
Yeah.
You know,
Cat
so
playing
again,
piano.
we're taking that same format, but we're just saying, hey, you know what?
Give us
If you-
content.
You're giving you content, but
Right.
if you have something of quality, you're getting something for it.
I get it.
Yeah, and people buying everything up anyway. I mean, you can create an app. We didn't have to go this route. We can create an app, and put an app on Apple Store and say, okay, put it up for 99 cents and put it globally on the app and make $1 million. The world that we live in today is full of entrepreneurs because the time that we're in is entrepreneurial.
Right.
You know, I mean, this what you guys doing here is entrepreneurial setup.
Now, you should have seen I wish you would have seen this. Well, you could go and watch all the episodes we did, but
Mhm.
if you would have seen the process and the start before this was crazy.
Yeah.
Me and Doug sitting in the car like, all right, so what we gonna do? How we gonna do it?
Right.
And then, all right, somebody said, all right, you got a computer, you get a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
That person we supposed to do it with, he bailed out on us the week off. So you know what? We had to go sit back in the car and like, okay, now what? Go get another microphone. And then
Need that mic, man.
yeah, that was it. And then after that, now you get your equipment. It's like, now what? We got 2 microphones, we got a computer. Something ain't right. We still.
What I'ma say?
It wasn't even what we gonna say. How we gonna record it?
Oh.
Cause we didn't have this. I don't even know what this thing is called still.
Yeah.
And we like, yo, this is. If you would have seen it, we was just sitting here like, and I'm
Had the
googling
microphones
stuff.
and
Yo,
laptop.
it was crazy. You should have seen it.
That's funny because
But it's part of your journey.
Right, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I look forward to this every Saturday. I look forward to our group text. All right, yo, and I look forward to what's going to happen.
Right.
So it's 4 different people. Excuse me. Everybody has a different opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different opinion.
you ask any hustler, even me, like the best part of the grind is the come up. I started off a grind. I remember once I started grinding, I ain't had shit. I had 2 sweatsuits and 2 pair of Bo Jacksons. every time I put a new pair of sneakers in my closet, I'm like, whoa. I'll come out and throw on these niggas.
Oh, crispy.
Yeah. And I just started 2 sweatsuits, 2 pair of Bo Jackson, man. I mean, I ain't get far, I got arrested. But they had fun.
You know, and I didn't even see, really, I'm like, who we gonna get to talk on the show? I didn't even want to use the word show, because I'm like, is this a show?
Right. I always say that, so I'm going to do my other job. I don't know what to
You know,
call
'cause
it.
really, it's just us from the neighborhood. Like,
No,
I knew her.
Right.
This is my man right here. We
Right.
did all type of wildness.
Right.
You know, and it just came together, and it was
Connection.
like, you
Yeah.
know, then you got my man right here.
Mhm.
Everything is just flowing, and like you said, the grind is it.
And
Right.
things are being drawn to us as we do it, which
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And to see that together, it's like when we see stuff and we get excited, it's like, oh shit, like this is real. Like,
Right.
wait,
Right.
this
You
is
know?
real. This
And
is really
you
happening.
kept hitting me like, yo, Trev, I'm gonna be on the show. Well, I'm like, first
Right,
of all,
because
I
I-
thought you was bullshit. I mean, I'm like, he ain't want to be on it. He just making conversation.
Yeah, I just
but then
small talk.
every time you saw him, you like, yo, the podcast. Yo, I'm like, what we gonna talk about?
Right.
And then every time it's like he's here,
Right.
they're here.
Right.
You know, it's like, and now we just regular conversation, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that's dope. And you from the Bronx, so I'm gonna respect that.
Benny Blanco.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be that way.
Whatever, I'm just saying,
The sun shines all over the globe.
I guess I do
yeah.
shine everywhere. So.
Come on now.
So yeah, I just want to thank you for coming, Captain.
No, I appreciate
You
that.
know, giving us
It's been
this
fun.
story.
Yeah, I like
You know, it's funny because, you know, like, we're so used to going forward. I never really sit back and just think or
About
reminisce
the
about
yeah,
stuff.
the
I mean,
journey.
you know, it's crazy, but
Before
it's
you came.
yeah, it's
And you said you worked at Sid on Fordham
on
Road.
Fordham Road. Yeah, don't let
Last
don't
house in
let
Seattle.
the baby face fool you. It's
Listen,
some
Fordham
years.
Road
What
is
department did you work
spot.
at?
Well, I started with working in the basement in Grand Central. I was in stock.
Uh-huh.
Then I went up to, I think, furniture, something like that. Then they wanted to fire me.
Uh-oh.
And then the guy it was a black guy running hardware. He said, "Nah, I'll take him in my department." And I started growing, and I became a manager.
And so you really basically you started from the basement.
Yeah.
You know.
It was a job at that time to pay for high school football equipment and stuff. My mother wasn't giving me no money, so you know we were just doing that. And then you know,
So you played for Evander.
played for Evander, yeah.
So you played Columbus.
Well, at the time when I was there,
No, we don't
Columbus
even care. I
Columbus
hated
didn't have
that.
a team for those 2 years, those couple years.
Because Columbus didn't have a field. They
Yeah,
they
they
did the
usually-
whole renovation for the field, and it only went to the 40
80
yards.
yards.
Yeah, they had 80 yards. They
yeah.
left out 50.
yeah.
Stupid. They must have got a nigga that actually went to
But
the
after I
school
left
to do
Evander,
that.
they were playing at Evander.
At Evander.
Right, but I had already left. When I was in EB, our rival was George Washington. And we bunch of black kids from the Bronx and go play at GW. They talking all Spanish. You don't know what the hell they talking about.
Yeah.
And GW, for those who remember that, they used to have a turf field, but they had a fire and they had a big concrete patch in the middle. And I said they still ain't. And I'm looking back on this now, like they let kids play on a concrete patch.
Yeah.
That's like
Tackle.
playing in the street.
Yeah.
That's like playing at the courts. Tackle at the
Speaking
courts.
of Brooklyn, Tilden was a big rival. Was Tilden boys and girls. I never forget. No, wow, this is crazy. We had SATs on a Saturday.
Yeah, I remember that
test.
day. I remember
And
that.
we had a big game against boys and girls at old boys and girls field before they redid it. It was dirt. It was hypodermic needles on the field. Everything. And so it was needles in the field. Everything it was dog shit probably.
Dope head with the touchdown line.
Yeah, like so.
Dope head for the touchdown.
So my coach, it was like Killian from varsity, but he didn't give a fuck. Like, no, we gotta go play this game. So I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna take this SAT. So after, it was like 4 of us. So we're high school kids. We got a dollar van guy. We paid like, look, we ain't got no money, man. We give you like $30. Dollar van guy from Gun Hill Road took us down to Brooklyn, down to
Wow.
boys and girls, and we got there for the third quarter and we won the game. But that
Man,
field
you
was
get there on
nasty.
the third.
Because we had SATs that morning. We was like, we never
What-
take
all right.
our SATs. Now they don't even play that on Saturday. We have SAT Saturday, no games.
What you got in the SATs? You remember?
1250.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, look, they won't say their score really.
It was pretty good.
My score was 0 because I wasn't paying no money to take no test. That's
You get 400 for your name.
No,
like,
don't you know?
Ask him his score. Ask him his score.
It was in the low
Just 'cause your name right,
They
right?
call him 950 Trev.
Oh
That's
wow.
950 Trev right there. Yeah, you know that.
I got a 560.
It's biased anyway.
It's better. Thank you. Thank you.
It wasn't biased with your score or mine.
know.
I don't know what you're
I'm
talking about.
Trev, you got your name right and the date.
I must have read some white books or something.
No,
I don't know.
let me tell you,
I took Catholic courses.
the day before I took my SAT, I'm hanging out with my man, with Chris and Larry. I get home, it's like 1 in the morning. I stole a book from Columbus, an SAT book, thinking I'm gonna read this the day off and be fresh. I get there, it's all these Asian people that they really focused. They didn't study the whole 2-3
Because their moms would
years.
kill them. They
I'm
had
sitting
tiger
there,
moms at the
I'm
house.
tired. I'm halfway drunk probably. I'm like, I'm taking breaks in between
Oh my
breaks.
God.
I'm like, you know what? But to me, I'll be honest with you, school is important.
Very important.
But those numbers don't mean nothing in the real world.
No.
Because like you said, there's people out there who are not following their dreams. You know what I mean? I'm following mine. I'm comfortable where I'm at in life, so I'm good. Like I don't care
It's a
about
litmus test.
Yeah. I don't-
It really was designed to keep Black and Hispanic kids out of major schools
Right.
because you don't need an SAT for CUNY. SUNY they use it, but you don't necessarily need it. So it's really designed, again, to just put you on a scale.
But then my mindset was totally different. In high school, I was just girls. It was like, remember, I took a dance class. I was in dance for
I noticed that.
right. So I was in that class faithfully.
I noticed that too.
You know,
Went to high
and-
school just for the hoes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it was
They
like,
had, that gang got a solar picture. They put garbage bags over the window so you couldn't look in. Cause dudes be on it like that.
and I was in there like that. I got a 90 in that class.
Well, you
I
messed
got
up,
like a
didn't you?
95
Because you
one
would
year.
dance though. If
Yeah,
they
but-
asked you to dance, you dance.
Wait, you did?
You did?
Yeah.
Pop lock.
Oh, Travis
Look
is
at
crazy.
how he looking at you. Let the cat out the bag.
Yeah, might as well. Remember what you did back to me in
Pop, pop,
In the
episode
rerun?
3?
I did it. Let me tell you.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Trav so nice. Trav did a move, jumped out his shoes, clean, left him right there, sitting right
Like
there.
Smoking, huh?
Yeah.
Remember the Harlem Shake? I was nice with that. Let me tell you. All right.
Make this money.
Right. It
Yeah,
was,
he got focused.
Yo.
and this was the hype man. This is my hype man. We was in high school.
I wish it was
I
some
wasn't
old
this hype,
footage
y'all.
on this.
But
It
It is.
is. Soprano.
right.
Where?
106 in Park.
What?
You was on Winter Park dancing?
Back.
Yo.
Yeah, I remember that though.
You know, it was like, I went
Yeah,
on Winter
episode,
Park
remember
one day
episode
and
4
they
when you
get
talked
on.
about some you said been talking about?
Oh.
Yeah, here
Oh,
goes.
he
He
was
was
back?
in the park.
Was that pre-AJ or after?
No, it was
That was
AJ and Free.
AJ and
Oh,
Free.
wow.
And she thought like, shout out to my man with Trav sweating like Kunta off the boat. Like
We gotta find that episode.
Yo.
That's somewhere.
Yes,
It's
it is.
Somewhere.
Yes, it
Yo,
is.
good looking food in that one. Yo.
I mean, you got access to networks and stuff. Just look it up. You gonna see Trav. He shook us to the commercial break. Ah,
You
yeah.
gonna say that to me?
Booyah.
Everybody has a history, you know. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna find a tape.
I never would have thought that.
I didn't take you for a dance.
No, you know, let me tell you, I was
It was big in our hood though.
I was in a dance
Yeah, I
group
mean,
and all that, like, and yo,
This shit is unbelievable.
no,
Believe
I
it,
think,
Doug.
no, I think I'm gonna be honest with you, like my actual dance career
Uh-huh.
really started, like,
Stop! Let's career. Let him finish. When did it start? Come on.
When did it start?
I
Miss
was-
Belanger, Miss Belanger class in junior high school. Yeah, I can speak on that shit because I knew this kid since he was like 12.
What?
Yeah.
and that's what I would, for some reason I went to Miss Belanger. It was always the girls, like
It was the girls.
It was that one time.
He's fighting for
No,
your right to dance.
No, what happened was
all the bad joints went to them classes.
right.
I
and
picked art and realized I was in the wrong class. Like, where they going?
You had to get guys in your class.
and the thing
I was
was
a
like
geek burger. Along with other geek burgers.
my
So I
mom,
didn't
she dressed me in shoes and stuff like
That's true,
I
too.
would go slack shoes. I mean, I had hard bottom shoes with jeans like.
And you was dancing with
if
that
I,
on?
yeah, I had to. Like I had
Mike
to.
did it.
You could have been tap dancing.
Right.
Tambourine.
Gregory High.
That's what people call me. Hey, you like Gregory High. Let me tell
Oh
you.
my God.
No, let me tell you. Growing up in my house, my mother had us in a program, right?
Gregory High.
My brother actually was in piano and tap.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My sister was in karate. I was in Boy Scouts. I did dance.
Right.
It was fun. I ain't gonna lie. It
Red
was
was
fun.
tap
It was
dancing?
fun. You just
Don't
tell it
worry,
all
yo.
tonight. Oh,
Nah.
I'm a
Red.
dancer too, Trev.
Gregory Senior.
it all comes out. But I added character to you.
Right. So
Right.
when I got to junior high school, and I think
They put bow ties on you too.
no, it was
Oh,
public,
my God.
but my mom like literally she'll go century like jeans and shoes, ironing pants with a crease, like
Cardigan sweaters.
cardigans
Yeah.
with the shirt under that. Like
Yeah.
it was, I was it.
Mad
I'm playing
swag.
ball with shoes.
Yep.
You click, and
You know
slam
it.
and all
Scuffled up
that.
the floor.
Couldn't sneak on nobody.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
It added character.
When I got to dance, like he said, all the girls was in dance. Like
All of
one
them was
day,
in there.
the first time I went and it was on my schedule, like, oh god damn, what is this? And she actually made us get on stage
Yeah.
and do a routine. So I'm learning how to
You
pepper
did? That's a
seed.
rhythm
I'm
shit.
learning how
You
to
did.
heel toe. I'm nice.
I want to
I
see
can't.
you
I
dance
can't
now.
really.
No.
My knees is twisted.
It's
Ah,
okay.
here we
It's
go.
okay.
And I
Yeah,
be
me
trying
too,
to tell
yo.
my son like, yo, you don't know, I was getting busy back in the day.
Yeah.
Nobody
that
believe you
was
though.
one day.
Nobody believe you.
You the only living witness.
I'm the only living
You
witness.
know,
Long
and
Six and Park.
Right, right,
And,
right,
um,
right.
Documentary.
and then it went from there. Like it went from. I actually know how to swim too. And
Really?
you say like the only that's the only thing I learned in high school. Outside of like the stuff you can't really use today, I know how to swim.
Wow.
Again, they give me a class in the dead of winter. You give me swimming in
Catch pneumonia.
yeah, I'm in December like this.
Smelling like chlorine.
You said, yo.
Yeah.
I read class.
You got an ear infection.
You know, but yeah, it was like you said, the grind is fun. Like when I think back now, it's like, damn, I had a lot of fun. You know, so up to this point now, it's like, especially to do it with my man right here.
Right.
After him doing all the crazy nonsense he went through,
Yeah.
jail and things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you,
we focus on you right now. I'm trying to
You trying to say how you get naked with us, that's all.
Yeah, I get it.
It's
Clean that out. The next show.
that's all right, but
JoJo dancer.
Don't worry, y'all.
It
I was
always
a
comes
dancer
full
too,
circle.
man.
you know, it's cool though. Like, nah, I danced and then I had a whole routine, all that. And one of the things I do regret about that year, sixth grade, was it sixth grade? Yeah, I think it was sixth grade. PAL. We was practicing to get in some competition, and the cop that came to like I guess endorse us or whatever you want to call it. He was like, yo, y'all playing around too much. I'm not gonna. And I really felt bad because it was like my fault, and the dude was like, "It's like, yo, damn, Trevor, you messed it up for us." Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
I didn't give it my all that day, and I really was playing. 'Cause I remember I kept saying, "Man, we doing all these routines, and everything ends up we always end up on the floor." I'm like, I just meet y'all on the floor. I'm just sit right here, and when y'all come back down for the routine,
So you was Bobby.
yeah,
Yeah, he was
I was Bobby, you know, right?
Indifferent.
Yeah, I was that type of Bobby, and then and I always think about that, like but then
What do you think
Yeah.
you took from that situation now? That you could apply to your own life?
If I say now, like if I want to do something, go ahead, do it, continue to do it. Because even today, my mom's would tell me like, don't you quit. She wouldn't say nigga, but I know she meant nigga, don't quit.
Right.
Because she told me don't quit this. Like if this is what you want to do it.
100%.
On another note though, Trevor, be happy that you knew how to dance because I thought I knew how to dance because my mom gets you hyped. And you know, the mom be, yo, go A. I'm doing whatever. And then I'm going somewhere, like, you know how to dance? I'm like, yeah. They throw the music on, I'm doing some bug shit. They like, what the fuck is that? They ain't fucking dancing. Sit your ass down.
Oh my
So
God.
just be happy that you had the talent to back it up. I
Like
ain't had
a
it.
lot of times I was on punishment. I tell you this all the time. That's how I wanted to be in radio. I listened to the radio. I ain't have Kumar TV, so I listened to the radio.
Right.
Like, literally. I
But you see how God was working on you then?
No, seriously.
You got in trouble just to get on punishment.
No,
You didn't take the
I
radio
didn't-
from you, you took the TV from you.
They took the TV from
So
me.
you don't even
bro.
listen to radio at night.
So I'm listening to Hot 97. I'm listening to 98.7. I'm listening
Few
WBLS.
soldiers.
all that. I'm listening to everything. Literally, I'm listening to everything.
10-10 wins.
It got to a point where I listened to that at one point too, like there ain't nothing on the radio. Let me
Right.
turn
You
it
see
in a
what's
different
going on in
style.
the world, right?
You know, but it's radio is always what I have wanted to do. So I had no clue. I didn't even know what it was called. Like when you said broadcasting, and somebody had me, what you gonna go to college for? I told my mom I want to be a DJ. She's like, hey, boy, I ain't seen no fucking college to be a DJ. At first, I wanted to tell her like, I'm not even going to college.
I don't need college for that, Mom.
Mom.
Right.
She's like, no. But then I'm like, nah, it's broadcasting. All right, so yeah, I want to go.
I went to school for journalism the first time I went to college.
Well, the first time I went to college, like I said, I went for 2 weeks. Went to BCC. After that, I was like, I'm out of here. This ain't.
My professor in my journalism class told me that we weren't gonna make money, and that's when I changed my major.
Right.
He worked for the New York
She lied,
Times.
she
It was a
lied.
he. He worked for the New York Times, and he did freelance. And he was like, I make my money over freelance. You know, doing this in the newspaper, you're not gonna really make money unless you do entertainment. And I'm like, I'm in the wrong class. And he immediately changed my perspective on journalism, and I dropped it. Everything happens for a reason.
Well, you definitely have to, like for broadcast, like you see, like when you got to school, people they doing the farm report in Nebraska, or being somewhere in
Right.
Wichita, Kansas. So it's a process. You just don't come out and go New York or LA, Chicago. You gotta build your antibodies up.
And you could, when I was in college, and I had a little, because my brother went to school with somebody that worked for Angie Martinez. So I'm like, that's it, I'm in. I don't care what nobody
That
say.
shit connect.
I'm in. I don't care if I gotta get the donuts for her show. I'm
Right.
in. I'm like, so my brother calls, man. He ended up quitting, doing his own. I'm like,
Nigga, he was like, nigga, I get the donut. You trying to take my job?
like, that was it. So, and then we came up with this and said, how am I gonna get on the radio? Podcasting
Was
is
the way.
Like I said, technology
Keep moving
creates entrepreneurs.
right, and before it's oversaturated, get it now.
Yeah.
Before you be like, damn, when everybody else could have, years from now, like, damn, they got $1 million off, man.
Right.
Nah, but you know, when I look at it like everybody's trying to do something, right? But it's sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
We come in here every weekend. We only missed one weekend because of my baby shower. But
Right.
every weekend we've been coming here since what month was that? It was cold outside. We
March.
had winter coats.
Yeah, it was March.
Your birthday.
Man.
Yeah. We've been coming here since it was winter. Now it's hot. The weather's about to change again. We still here.
Getting
This
strong.
is not gonna go unnoticed.
No, it's not.
A dream is only a dream if work gonna follow it.
Speak. Real talk.
That's Kendrick. Sorry.
I
I saw from
It
Kendrick.
sounded like you.
I did.
Everybody was with you.
It
You
did.
could've
I
left
did.
it.
No,
You
I did.
could've
I went
left
to
it.
college. You know, I had to put that in the
Oh,
back.
okay.
So after y'all finish laughing at me now?
No,
You
no,
done,
no.
you
We're
done.
laughing with you.
Yeah.
you-
I'm, not laughing. I'm proud of you. I didn't know that you was a dancer. I was proud.
This ain't Tiger Stroh. I didn't know you was a dancer.
I'm proud. I was like, oh shit, another talent. Look.
You was in Harlem Town with me when I was Harlem Shaking.
Everybody was Harlem Shaking. I was Harlem Shaking. You know, like, I didn't know. I didn't call myself a dancer. You know, I wasn't a dancer. I was trying to do
No,
whatever
I was in a
doing.
dance group in 6th grade.
Oh
and
my God.
Like all through junior high school.
Doing that rerun.
I was
So
doing
you
more
were
than
dancing and I was playing basketball.
Nah.
Oh,
You play basketball?
Yes, I
Wow,
did.
look at this. Everybody talent is coming to the table.
No, I wasn't talented.
Oh,
I was
you
on
did,
I was
though.
on the team and I went to every practice. I was dedicated
You
on
ride
the
that
bench.
bench, right?
I was a fucking cheerleader from the
Yeah,
bench.
you the
ML
first one off the bench, give a high five.
Right, get that last 10 minutes on the, on the court.
waited
when it's
an
over.
hour,
You're up
Yeah,
by
all of that.
35. Go
Right.
ahead, say last 2 minutes.
I was proud of myself though because I went to every practice regardless. My coach used to, rest in peace to Mr. Smith too. He used to go, a lot of people don't know this. He used to come pick me up every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to practice. And his beat up car that would break down because he said,
Oh,
Mr. Smith believed in you.
no,
Your mom
exactly.
let you leave with a man at
Because-
5 in the morning?
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a
Mr.
teacher. And Mrs. Smith, if you knew Mrs. Smith, you
Oh,
wouldn't
Kelly
be
was a
worried.
singer.
But he was that dedicated, even though I was a bench warmer. He was like, I see that you are that dedicated and wanting to do this. So it
Why
doesn't
you ain't put you
matter.
in the game?
Because I wasn't good.
Well,
You
why
gotta-
you
you gotta-
gonna bring me? You
gotta
gonna wake
let
me
her
up
know.
at 4:30
Right,
in the
I did.
morning?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I was a part of something. That was bigger than just being
Everybody
I
hates
was a part
Chris
of it.
over here.
Sonny, You got a 4:30 in the morning to go meet Mr. Smith 5 o'clock
Yes.
to not play at all.
That's the type of dedication it takes to win, though.
No,
I'm not the best. Listen, I'm not the
Tell
best.
Mr. Smith I ain't coming in today. What's that?
But then you won't be a part of the team.
Why won't you part of the team anyway? I ain't fucking playing.
Playing is not the only part of basketball.
Yes, it is.
No,
You're a
it's
team
not.
member.
No, it's not. It's bigger than that.
You ain't the coach.
It's bigger
The
than that.
coach don't play. Everybody else supposed to play.
It's not.
Every nigga on the
So
bench
when you
plays.
no,
She's
that's
Rudy.
not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not true. It's people on the bench that never play each game. They
They
stay in
do.
their fucking warm-up suit.
No, that's a lie.
That's not.
Somebody
you,
get hurt.
you make the starters better in practice.
It's
Exactly.
called no, so they busting their moves on you like, all right, listen. Listen,
I gotta get jump
when,
shot.
listen, it's called garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
Garbage minutes.
Garbage.
When you're up by 30 or you're down by
Right.
30. All them dudes
I
that ain't
already
getting no
said that.
burn, that's when you.
I
did
already
you,
said
did
that.
you get that?
I
time?
did. I said I got the last
you
10 minutes of every game.
Oh, so you said you ain't playing at all. That's
That
what I was
don't
upset.
count as playing.
It does
If
count.
I know I got the last 10 minutes of the
No,
game.
10 minutes is a long time.
Okay.
No, 10 minutes is a
But
lot.
you said you ain't play. I'd have been telling Mr. Smith, get the fuck away from my door.
Nah.
5 o'clock and goddamn
I'm going back to
morning.
sleep.
What are you talking about, Mr. Smith?
First off, I was trying to lose weight, and I liked the fact that I was a part of something that was organized. So it didn't matter
And
if
you
I
got
played.
minutes. Don't say you don't have minutes. Cause if you ain't have minutes, then I'd have been like.
It doesn't
fuck
matter
that.
because I know I wasn't really talented at playing basketball.
But you
That
got-
wasn't the point for
But
me.
still,
It wasn't
you gotta-
about
you
that.
gotta-
He came from a long way to pick you up.
From the Bronx, all the way from the Bronx. And his car would break down like every other day.
At 5 in
and
the
it
morning,
snowed.
come on, man.
So is that not dedication though?
Mr. Smith, I'll take the bus.
Smith was a freak.
No, he wasn't.
He had to be.
Oh my God.
Did he
had
pick
a
up the starters
horrible-
too?
They lived closer. I lived on the east side, and everybody else lived on the west side.
He ain't pick nobody else up.
No, I was on the way to the school.
Picked up Rudy.
Who's Rudy?
The scrub that played at Notre Dame.
Oh,
Everybody.
okay.
You ever seen the movie Rudy?
Oh,
I don't remember.
It's
Watch
alright,
Rudy
Sam.
then. Go.
No, I'm not gonna watch it now after you fucking called me
He
Rudy.
gave the underdog though, but he got his
He
time.
got his ass whipped too. And
Obviously, Mr. Smith was not judged on wins and losses.
Exactly. He liked
You
my
wasn't
initiative to even try out for the team.
wasn't
Big
Kyle
deal.
How old was you?
Probably like 14, 15.
I think Mr. Smith like young girls.
No,
wasn't Kyle Watson, I know that.
no. Yeah, naming people I don't know, so I
Kyle
can't.
in his office.
No.
All right, don't worry
Yeah.
about it, Sonny.
See, I was
Shout out to
I
Mr.
was
Smith.
dedicated to the
He ain't
team.
bust no moves on you, did he?
Never did he ever. No,
Okay.
he was like another dad
You
figure.
can say that now if he did, because we probably should
No,
He
he's
He
dead.
He did
Yeah,
that.
deal with that.
What?
That's what she
Nah.
said.
Oh my God, he
Well-
was like a father to me. You guys are horrible.
I hear you. He picks you up every day.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure did.
Okay.
I know Father's Day.
Did he make
he
you
do
change
that.
the tire or
No,
car
I would just have to
breakdown?
start the car when it broke.
Did you have to stay on? You had to push. Yeah, what the fuck?
I know I didn't push.
I'd rather take the bus from the east side than to push the
We're gonna
car.
start the training right now. Push the car.
That's like
Get your
Mr.
legs-
Miyagi, right? Mr.
Get
Miyagi.
your legs
That's
straight.
what it was about. Exactly.
Suicides.
This is Mr. Smith. I'd rather take the bus and I gotta push the car from the east side to the
Nah.
west side.
Come on. One more block. Oh.
And we made it.
We on the hill.
Y'all are horrible.
Yo, listen. Did he put the car in drive when he made you push?
I didn't push the car. That's your story, not
If
mine.
you put it in
I
P,
said all I had to do was turn the ignition. That's it.
P don't mean push. P mean pause.
Was it
That mean
ever-
extra strength.
5:30 in the morning, Mr. Smith car breaks in. Anytime, like, why am I doing this?
No.
Really?
Because I love being a part of the team.
Which one was you?
What school was you at?
Thurgood
Thurgood Marshall.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a small high school.
Shout out to Mr.
And you
Smith
was
for
on
that busted ass
Lexington,
car.
right? You had to go all the way to St. Nick,
Right,
right?
it's Edgecombe, yeah. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
came, yeah.
I was in Edgecombe. They sent me to the box.
Yo, Kev, on that note,
They did. I'm sorry. Mr. Smith ain't drive me down.
Oh my God.
any last words for anybody that's looking to I guess what, start a network?
Oh, where to find you?
and-
Maybe they're interested
yeah.
in something. You know, maybe they could.
yeah, they can hit me up at Instagram or Twitter at 950kev or go to the website www.950lounge.com. Leave a email there. You know, and again, like I said, I mean, to answer your question, Trev, I mean, really it just comes down to having a game plan.
Right.
You know, I've learned throughout my years you can be a hard worker and not go anywhere. You got to be strategic with your hard work. It's got to be a two-way street. So be strategic, have a game plan, know what you want to do, and just go out and do it. And if it don't work, do something else. You know, doesn't represent you, doesn't stop you because you get a no. It just makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this has been fun. I appreciate the time. It's been great.
We appreciate you for coming. You know, we started from the bottom, and you know, we happy you came and you know shows us.
We get a flashback of your hustles right here.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll reach to your level.
Well, I'm still working. I mean, when I stop working, I get to put me in a casket. But I'm still working. So.
But like I said, you know, when we all go, we still got something that's gonna live on.
Allegedly.
We could go. You could go back to YouTube and find this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you get picked up by a network. You go back to that network and go back and look. And years from now, we're gonna be on a network where they're gonna play the repeats.
That's why we're gonna find on 106. That's gonna be the start of our next show. We're trying to get focused.
Yes.
With a Raiders jersey on.
Nah, let me tell you, I couldn't
Big
afford
white
jerseys.
tees.
I had a white polo sweater and a white Yankee hat. When I seen it when Memphis Bleak had in that video, I said, oh, I gotta give me a white Yankee hat. I had a white sweater. I had on white Uptowns, and I had on these blue Sean John jeans that I
You
was
was just ready to perform.
ready.
And he was sweating.
On fish and spaghetti.
And he was
Who's on the show that day?
Ari Spears.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, he gonna look it up. Doug is gonna find
Ari
it.
Spears was sitting in the audience,
Yes.
and I'm gonna be honest. The video was
For the day?
yeah,
Did
Carl
you-
Thomas remix with Faith Evans.
You wasn't
Ooh.
dancing
That's
to that.
2001.
You didn't dance to that.
Okay.
No, I was dancing to Ray J featuring
Oh.
Lil Kim.
Wait a minute.
That's like 2002 then.
He remembers. Nah, that was like 01.
Bow Wow.
Right.
Get out there. That nigga there. You
Bow
gave
Wow.
me some.
Now everybody got this great memory, right? Everybody got
I
this-
don't.
Nigga, I waited 3 days to
laughing.
see the show. You told me you was on there. I went home every day. I ain't gonna get no weed or nothing. I said, I watch 106. My man, Trey.
No, and then they repeated it on Saturdays. I was live back on Monday.
Look at you. You was famous before you knew it.
You wasn't more famous than the dude that was in the wheelchair and do freestyles though. He got bitches. Just saying. He was on 40 like this.
I usually just have to battle in the on the third floor next to that dance class.
It wasn't shit though. They thought they was nice. They wouldn't fuck with you.
You know,
All right.
You know, like
so
you
a lot
said.
came out this episode.
Yeah.
Trev can dance.
I can't play basketball.
I can swim too.
Oh, yeah, you can swim. Right.
Mr. Smith,
Mr.
call
Smith.
ain't work.
I love Mrs. Smith. Y'all gonna stop.
Bless that man heart.
Right.
Let Mr.
That's
Smith
he
hard
believed
and
in
his
me.
call.
He believed in me.
He did.
Yeah.
I believe in you now, Sonny.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
on that
I'll
note,
pick you on team.
Thank you.
we
We'll
episode
lose
20.
together.
This is a wrap. We'll see you next week when we're able to drink.
21.
21.
Yeah, we'll be 21 next week.
Finally
Ow.
So finally legal. We'll be able to drink.
I drink every week.
So we'll see y'all then. Cav, thanks again for
Yes,
coming.
thank
It's
you.
been fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
thank you
man.
so much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Donald.
No problem.
You stop, Eric?